Hey, good morning, good afternoon, Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
I can't believe there are this many people actually in the chat on Christmas Eve. This is awesome.
You're very popular. You're very popular.
No.
And rightfully so.
It's not
rightfully
because
so.
not because of that. Because it's just so many. I assume that most people are with with family and whatnot this time of year. Or maybe they're like me and they're COVID orphans.
Or maybe they're ducking out on family to like catch
up. Ducking out on family. Or maybe it's just early enough that they are not quite with their family. So
I think we're a great excuse to say, look, Uncle Jeff, I'm really sorry, but I gotta catch this right now. So
yeah, exactly. Like I'm sorry, this is very important business. I need to talk about the Kim Potter verdict, and I know that I'm not going to get the same dialogue with you as I will with these lawyers.
Yes. That's true. You're not. They're not going to get the same from Uncle Jeff who's saying "pull my finger" over and over again.
Exactly.
So, and that's what we bring.
And metaphorically.
That was not a Jeffrey Epstein joke. Those of you in the chat who are thinking crazy things like that.
Yes.
How you been?
I have been a vagabond, basically with my little bag on a stick, going around the United States. It's been good. It's been good though. It's the plans that Mr. Bites and I had for our Christmas vacation just got completely nuked, but we're making the most of it. So
I'm wondering if I'm the only one who notices that California Legal Bites has a slightly different aura to her than European Legal Bites.
Why is that?
I don't know. There's more blonde. There's more glow. You just seem like happier. You're not under that depressing Eastern Soviet bloc country type of like gray pallor over your face. But you have like this cheery, it's always sunny here in California type of disposition. And it radiates from you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's very kind of you. I think it could also just be that I'm actually finally on the same time zone.
Oh yes, you're saying you're not like exhausted.
It's not like like the middle of the night for me.
It could be that. Actually, I hadn't thought of that. But so what's Christmas like in California where they don't have snow or cold? Like, is it like really? Is it any different? Is it any different from like Easter or?
Well, fun fact, there actually is snow in California. It's just you drive to the mountains to see it. Yeah. So this is a fun thing that Californians who grew up in California, at least if they haven't done this themselves, they usually know somebody else who has done this before, where they do this thing where they go surfing in the morning and then they go skiing in the afternoon or in the evening. So you can do that. You can like get super early, go for a surf, drive 3 or 4 hours to the mountains, and then go skiing or snowboarding. It's a kind of fun little thing that you can do.
So Gen X. That's so Gen X. It's like you're just everywhere. I picture Gen X kids just zipping around and like being there's snowboard. It's not skiing. It's snowboarding. Okay, you don't go skiing. Right? If you're younger than me, it's not skiing. I would think everyone's a snowboarder. Everyone wants to be. Who's that?
I grew up skiing. I tried snowboarding a couple times and it didn't end well. So I ended up exhausted and angry and hurting. And so for me, my Mr. Bites, he snowboards. So whenever we go skiing / snowboarding, that's exactly what it is I'm usually on skis. I prefer to have my 2 feet separate from each other. Like I don't like the feeling of being locked into one thing. It just feels very restrictive for me. And I've also been I don't know, like I've never been much of a skateboarder or a surfer even. But Mr. Bites likes to skateboard, that kind of thing too. So, But yeah,
So
but
so
it's just
snowboarding was
kind
not in existence when I was in my physical fitness prime,
of okay.
which by the way, in my day, I was actually a phenomenal wide receiver. I was genuinely like really, really good. And yeah, but then I got older, and now I'm like, a decrepit old man, and I live vicariously through my kids. So
Yeah.
snowboarding was not a thing when I was young, unless you were in a James Bond movie and trying to get away from bad guys in the opening montage. But otherwise,
Hmm.
it didn't exist.
Hmm.
So, but I see my sons who are basically, mirror me in every way, and to them, snowboarding is like it's like walking. So I live vicariously through them in that, like, I'm actually like, yeah, okay, I could snowboard if
Yeah.
that's me. That's sort of like an embodiment of me next generation. So it's almost like
Mm.
I feel like I'm an amazing snowboarder, even though I've never.
It's a transitive ability, right?
Yes, 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 exactly. Right.
That's
So I
awesome.
live vicariously through their successes and never through their failures.
Of course.
It's an amazing thing about having kids.
Is there any other way to live?
Right.
Absolutely not.
It's amazing. But I've never been like the kind of dad who's like, who's like going to push them to do something that they don't want. Like I was always afraid of becoming that kind of dad.
Mm.
But no, I'm not at all like that. I'm
No, no, no.
relieved to report about myself.
I
But
already have a predetermined box that my children who are not even here yet will
right.
fit into, and
I mean,
it will be very specific, and they have no choice in that. I'm kidding,
right.
guys.
Right.
I know people on the internet often can't read my sense of humor, but that's a joke.
It's actually someone actually made a funny comment here. 82nd. I'm Joe Bundy, 4 touchdowns in a single game. It wasn't one game. I'm telling you, I dominated everywhere. But
That's funny.
so
But
how are
yeah,
you? So we're gonna talk law today.
yeah, I think we might as well. We should talk a little bit of law, right?
Yeah, we're here. We're lawyers. This is what we do. So
Yeah,
you want to start with Kim Potter?
yeah.
It's your
Let's.
show. I feel like I'm giving you direction here.
No, no, no. I mean, it's you probably read the description because yeah, we've got Kim Potter. I still haven't on this channel talked about the Alec Baldwin search warrant, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm,
And then
mm-hmm.
also the investigation into the investigation of Jussie Smollett. I know that was a few days ago too, but
So I didn't see that. You're gonna have to update me on that.
okay, well, we might as well talk about it now. There was an investigation. So Jussie Smollett, his claims, right? The Chicago State Attorney, Kim Foxx, did an investigation into his claims, and then ultimately decided to, I guess, drop the charges against Jussie Smollett for lying to the police, right?
Right.
And so the Attorney General, I believe it was,
Mm-hmm.
Dan Webb, decided to, or not decided, but he was tasked with running an investigation into her investigation to see whether that was done properly. And apparently, like, the investigation happened like over a year ago, but the report just came out, and surprise, surprise, they determined that things did not run the way that they were supposed to go. Which it just seems like no one is particularly surprised about.
Are they gonna name names though, as to like, because presumably it's not I know how this is gonna play out. I can tell you how this is gonna play out.
How's it
I've
going to
watched
play out,
enough of the
Joe?
Jeff Epstein thing to know how this is gonna play out. Okay, you cannot tell me that this Jussie Smollett, who's obviously a very Chicago-based type of thing,
Uh-huh.
did not have significant influence on his behalf. And people may label this conspiracy theory, but there was actually talks about Michelle Obama calling the DA's office. So, but you cannot tell me that there was not significant influence that was put upon the DA's office by someone named Obama, Michelle or Barack,
Mm-hmm.
and or Oprah Winfrey, who's obviously based out in Chicago. So I will never. I'm telling you now, the rest of my life, I will always believe that, and I can guarantee you that you will never hear any of these names in the investigation. That they'll say, yeah, that she made a decision to favor a celebrity, and never mention that the influencers that they would turn up in the investigation. It's like, oh my God, we see these, 6 phone calls from the Obamas,
Yeah.
and 2 from we're just going to pretend that part didn't happen. We're just going to be like, it's unjustifiable that you failed to prosecute this, and go after the individual low-level fish instead of actually naming names, because names never get named. So
yeah, that's perfectly fair. Also, I see. I don't know. Maybe it's because I mentioned hypothetical children. People in the chat, I'm not pregnant.
right.
I don't know why.
Right. I
Every
was
once
going to say the children that I actually was going to throw in children that have not yet even been conceived.
Yeah. It's no. There are none at this point.
Not even a glimmer
No.
in the eye. No.
I'm not pregnant. And I'm gonna have some prosecco on this stream. So like that would be incredibly irresponsible if I were pregnant.
Yes.
And I'm not that level of irresponsible.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I think everyone knows you're a clean cut kid. At least that's the image you portray. That's the image you portray. No one realizes how abusive you are to me backstage in law too. No one, and I would complain about it, but I know no one will believe me. This is like I have no chance of being believed by anyone until there's an expose that comes out 20 years from now, where people are reflecting back on like, oh my God, living under the stern hand of legal bites, we were all like this.
I am actually
you're Ellen
behind the scenes.
You're so smiley on the outside, Ellen. You're so smiley on the outside.
Oh no!
But backstage,
but on the inside, I'm actually like this incredibly woke dictator.
Yes.
I'm a woke-tator.
Yes, a woke-tator. That's a good word. I like that. A woke-tator. That's awesome.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? How do you think the investigation will play out? And are there potential charges, or I mean, there's not going to be any criminal charges. If anything, there'll be dismissal or anything like, or sanctions or censuring.
I agree. I think it's going to be, just one of these things that's like, oh, okay, there was a problem. Moving on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So it's like as satisfying as it is to hear, okay, yes, we're not crazy. There was an issue here, and things were not done properly, and probably also because of the fact that he's famous, has connections in high places, politically speaking, et cetera, et cetera. That is satisfying to at least know. But of course, like the media is not going to run with it. Let's be real. Real. It's not in their interest to do so.
Right. No, this story was DOA, and that was never. That's why I'm surprised. Where did you hear about it? Would you go to like Revolver News or something? Or
no, I think
Times.
I think it was New York Post had something about it.
Oh, okay, New York Post.
But like I had seen a few people on Twitter like over the last few days. Like some people had like mentioned it, so I looked into it, and yeah, you're right. It is a little bit difficult to find because it's like, it's you just search like Jussie Smollett investigation, and they're like, oh, Jussie Smollett was wrongfully convicted.
You'll find an article from like a year and a half ago where it's like, there's an investigation into the attack on Jussie Smollett, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I know exactly. What's interesting thing about the New York Post that you mentioned there is they are to the New York Times what the Washington Times is to the Washington Post. Like it's actually flip-flopped here in our city. The New York Post is much more based, and I wouldn't say they're really based, but they're much more likely to actually share real news. And it's interesting because, 20, 30 years ago, they were kind of a tabloid magazine. Tabloid newspaper. Not exactly that, but they would always have some sort of sensationalistic picture on the cover to try and sell newspapers. It'll be like, 20, 30 years ago. So it would be like, Marla Maples and, in a bikini, a tiny bikini or something like that on the beach, or something like, and some headline about, Donald Trump. That's what basically it would have been 30 years ago. But they actually over time became more and more, they at least seem more and more right leaning, only because maybe it's because everyone else went further left and they stayed the same, or maybe they actually took that as a general approach that's going to be their new target market. But they're much more likely to give you genuine news than than you'll see in the Daily News or in the New York Times. That's my finding.
True. Well, we have another person joining us, not a lawyer, but full of Christmas spirit.
Nice.
Joe, you haven't met my brother yet.
No, is he an elf? Is he going to be doing the? Yes. Yes.
Andy the elf. What's your favorite color?
Andy, are you guys are you guys in the same state? Are you in the same location, or
we're in the same state, but I'm on an island. I'm on COVID island. Even actually, you're really on COVID island.
I am literally on COVID island, quarantining from
really?
my beautiful room. Yes.
I'm so sorry, brother. That's terrible. How you feeling?
Andy ruined Christmas.
Yes. It's been pretty rough here, with COVID.
I see that. The drunk elf.
Here's Andy.
This is great.
Okay, well, all right. Cool.
This is like the follow-up to Bad Santa, as we're gonna get Bad Elf. He's got like this scraggly beard type of thing. He's gonna sit on my knee, kid. Yeah, what do you want for Christmas?
Oh,
the depraved behavior, but oh my God.
Oh man. So
and you're in California, so you're grabbing that beer at what's it, 10:15 in the morning? I like it.
It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Anything is possible.
A Merry COVID Christmas.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yes. Yes. But to give you all reassurances though, this is actually just water. Just so that way, just in case YouTube's like, hey, you can't do that. You can't do that. We all know how the YouTube oligarchs can be sometimes. So
hey, Kurt,
yes.
Happy to have you here.
Andy, how are you doing? I'm sorry to hear that all's not well in Elf Village right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the bitter side of things right now, but in all seriousness,
we're making the most of
it. Those are mild. So
Is Santa aware of Legal Bites content? Has that been factored into the naughty and nice list?
It's not good enough.
Yes, it has been factored, and what Santa wants is more. Santa wants more.
Santa wants you to subscribe. Santa wants you to subscribe to Legal Bites.
If
you don't subscribe, you can't be on the good list. Hit the subscribe button to be on Santa's good list.
Yes.
Or get some coal.
Exactly. Here's a question for everybody. We got a super chat. Would you rather have as a neighbor Kim Potter or Dante Wright, Kyle Rittenhouse or JoJo Rosenbaum, Derek Chauvin or George Floyd, or the McMichaels or Arbery? So I guess we could go each one. I mean, I think I probably know what most people's answers are going to be.
I don't know. I'm not sure you do.
All right. Kurt, Kim Potter or Dante Wright?
Well, I mean, yeah, for the first two, it'll probably be as expected. But yeah, for Kim Potter, I would prefer.
Yeah.
But she's too good of a shot.
Or is she?
Yeah, so don't let your ball I don't know if she's that good a shot actually. Kyle's a shot. Yeah.
She's more a good shot. And I would not want to live next to JoJo Rosenbaum.
No.
Yeah.
Especially not if I plan on having kids.
No.
Not a good call.
No.
Hey,
not a good resident.
Hey, Uncle JoJo, are you going to be babysitting for us today?
No. Thank you. Never. No. Not no how. Not no way. Derek Chauvin or George Floyd?
The problem here is that Chauvin has some serious anger issues that are displayed in his record. He was also convicted because he pled guilty to a prior incident involving a under 18-year-old kid. This is all in the federal record. Who he had showed up to a call because the kid had assaulted his mom in some way. When he got to the kid, though, he was laying in his room, playing with a Game Boy or something like that. And he proceeded to use way excessive force, including, perhaps most disturbingly, by using his flashlight to strike the kid in the head multiple times. And, putting his knee on the kid's back and all the rest of it. Right. So that kid lived, but still and there was also an incident where he had pulled over another suspect that was on film, I think, that was brought up during the George Floyd incident, which was also very disturbing. So he has some serious anger management issues. And George Floyd, for all of his many problems, didn't seem to have those issues. So I think on this one, I think I'm going to go with George Floyd.
Yeah. I might actually as well, because it seems like his main issue was, I mean, he was engaging in some drugs, but kind of minding his own business. It seems like
Robert pointing a gun at a pregnant belly.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know about that either. That's a tough one. That's a
tough one. It's like I would probably think which one's closest to death.
False binaries, love these.
Like who's probably gonna live? And I'm not saying that because George Floyd is dead. I'm just saying like I would want to have as short a time period living next door to them as possible. So because these are neither one of them are fine options that you're really looking for here. So
yeah.
It's a tough call. That's a tough call.
Yeah.
And McMichaels and Arbery are not much of an easier call either.
My reasoning is going to be kind of similar. I think Arbery, for all of his problems with theft, is not a violent individual. These guys, the Floyds and McMichaels, seem a bit unhinged to my mind. So I think Arbery might be the better call on that one too, for similar reasons. That's why I said, I'm not sure it's what you necessarily would expect me to say. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I think I would actually go with Arbery before the McMichaels, because they're a little bit rash on their judgment and where they're going and what they're doing.
The thing that like sort of makes it all weird or bad for the McMichaels and because everything has to be judged unto itself. I mean, it's the only way to do things. But for McMichaels and what's his name, Roddy Bryant, I mean, they were chasing this kid down, so they had some time to. Well, at least they had the time to think. Whether or not they chose to use it, who knows? Probably not. But they were chasing this kid down for some amount of time in their trucks and all, and they had the time to get out of their trucks, the time to get with their guns and all the rest of it. They had the time to reconsider their proposition. It didn't all happen in the scope of an instance. It shows bad decision making and ongoing bad decision making. And again, I mean, stealing and theft and breaking into people's boats and stuff like that, it's not good. It's punishable behavior. But this is I'm going to go with Arbery, I think, on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what you're describing are nonviolent crimes at the end of the day.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on.
It doesn't incriminate you, unless you want to say because I like them because of their Confederate flag truck license plates and
I can't. Okay, now I have to give an answer because people will totally mistake that.
Otherwise, Joe. Otherwise, you sit on a throne of lies.
No, so I'll answer that. The reason I would say Arbery is because his shortcoming is being a thief, but he tends to steal from like a distance away from his home. So if I'm living next door to him,
he doesn't shit in his own backyard. There you go.
He really doesn't. He doesn't take a dump in his own backyard. So if I'm living next door to him, I don't have to worry about him. It's just my neighbors 6 blocks away who have to worry, but that's not my headache. So
that's
rational.
Chris's error. He's been a member for 2 months. It says, I'm so excited. For some reason, StreamYard your comment is not showing up on StreamYard, so I can't show it on the screen. But he says, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Is now the time where I should just bitch about StreamYard for no particular reason? Because
you can do it. You get 60 seconds. Go.
Yeah, StreamYard with their audio issues and other issues is just amazing. They want $40 a month to be able to pay them in order to get 1080p and get that quality, and yet they have no method of audio equalization at all. We have no methodology on our ends to see what the various audio levels are, how we're coming across. The last time I did a StreamYard where I was doing a video review, it all sounds good in my head or in my ear when I'm doing the video level versus my level. But then when I go back, I sound very quiet compared to the audio level of the video. So I mean, StreamYard is convenient. It allows people to join much easier, but why people pay the $40 a month for this when they have these audio qualities? If you listen to the last 3 minutes of the stream yesterday with Nick, and you get that incredibly bad audio, it's like, what is their problem over at StreamYards? Fix your shit, StreamYards.
To me, we'll get the audience. We have pretty good feedback with our audiences, so we'll see the audience saying your volume's too low, Joe, or something like that. Yeah. What's annoying is that even when I'm raising it, so we don't see the decibel levels talk for each of us, which would be ideal, where we could see how high we each, when we're talking in our normal range. But it's also they'll have a bar that I can go into my audio and fix it, and I'll have a bar, and they'll say you're at 80. And you just randomly can push it up, and you have no idea how. Do I need to push this up 10? Do I need to push it up 50? And then it's like I have to keep asking my audience, is that good? Am I good now? Am I good? And it's like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. At the same time, we can't do this through OBS. You can't have 4 people merging together. Is there a way to do this besides StreamYard?
The way I've done it is by getting people in the StreamYards, but not then actually streaming through StreamYards, capturing the StreamYard window inside of OBS.
Wow.
That's the way I've done it before, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but it works.
That's interesting idea.
And then I don't have to pay StreamYard for it because it's free. I can just get their layout, and then I just capture it. And now suddenly I've got all that input as an audio input into OBS, and so I can equalize it.
StreamYard's currently taking notes and all this stuff. It's like, they found a loophole.
Yeah,
this happened again.
Hey, Andy, the game maker, as Santa's elf, did you happen to see? I just tweeted it out to the group, and you may not have saw it, but there was people talking to Biden was talking to Santa via NORAD, with the Santa tracker thing that they do every year, and apparently this year they decided to have parents call in to talk to Biden and I guess Santa. And did you see that one of the parents ended the call with Biden by saying, "Let's go, Brandon"?
Oh,
nice.
Oh my gosh.
On live TV.
That's pretty choice.
That's pretty choice. And then Biden just says meekly back, "Let's go, Brandon."
Does he really?
No,
back?
You said it back?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
No.
That's
All right,
like...
Manny from Banny wants to know, is cereal soup, yes or no?
I'm going to go yes. Sure.
Okay.
No.
Wait, what's Nick Rikita's position? Isn't it yes?
Soup is cereal.
What's Nick's position? Yes? Then I'll go no.
Wait, soup is cereal, but cereal is not soup?
Why would you say
Well, it could be because one could be the category of the other. It's like saying, all Cavassier is brandy, but not all brandy is Cavassier or something like that.
No, all kidding aside, it's not soup. It's ridiculous called soup. If you cook it, maybe you could say a hot cereal would be soup. When you put, think about this for a second. When you first put, when you're making soup, so if you're making vegetable soup, so you take water and now you throw in your vegetables and your carrots and your onions and your peppers, whatever it is that you're throwing in there, and you haven't turned the fire on yet. It's not soup. It's just water with vegetables in it.
Yeah.
That's not soup
before
it cooks together.
I would disagree with that because I do know of, and Andy the elf also knows of a cold soup, which is a common, very traditional Lithuanian recipe. It's a lot like borscht, but it's not borscht. It's not Russian. It's Lithuanian, but it's basically it's like cold it's literally called cold soup. Like that's what it translates to.
It's literally
borscht.
Like the
the Lithuanian version.
It's the Lithuanian equivalent of like gazpacho, basically.
Yeah, gazpacho. Yeah, gazpacho is also a cold soup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have, cold soups. It's
way to kill the vibe.
Yes, seriously. What the heck happened? It's like everything was going so well. You started coughing and hacking.
Kurt's gone now.
No, I'm back. I'm back.
I just want COVID away with your.
You needed to research whether cereal.
You missed nothing.
I think this is a good opportunity to get everyone in on a game that I want to play, and we don't have to actually play the game proper right now.
Okay.
But I got this game called I Dissent. A game with Supreme Court opinions, and there's actually like rules for it where I don't actually understand the rules because I just opened the box just now, but you get like different voting cards and the different roles, right? And so like one of them's Chief Justice or whatever, and so there's actually like rules to it on how to get opinions and
so you can waffle based on the politics.
I've got the fancy color, so I guess
yes,
I'm the Chief
but
Justice.
More to the point, for our immediate purpose, because the cereal soup, it comes with a whole bunch of topic cards, which are questions along the lines of that were just raised by the super chat. So I thought maybe what we could do from time to time.
Okay.
I love it.
Maybe we'll do one for free.
Oh my gosh.
Here, I'm going to help you grift. I'm going to help you do grifting right now. Okay.
Yes.
We can do one for free, just to get people invested. And then for a super chat of whatever Legal Bites wants to set the price point at, we can do other ones during the stream. So I'll help get you a little bit of super chat revenue. How about that? We'll give them one for free.
Okay, cool. That sounds good.
Can I make a quick 10-second plug?
Yes, you may.
Yeah. So Crypto Cartel is still available with free shipping with a Legal Bites promo. So if you go to anniethegamemaker.com, you can still buy copies with free shipping, and it helps support Legal Bites. And shipping is slightly delayed, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Because you don't want to get COVID.
I don't want to spread COVID, so it's not a very good business model. And so there's my plug.
I will link it to I'll link it in the description below.
Yes.
Yep.
He makes great games too, and you should definitely go buy his games. But how about a game?
And that's what it looks like right there. Yeah.
Yes, Crypto Cartel. Yes.
And also, if you guys, I will say this, yes, he is my brother. I'm biased, but I think that Andy's very funny on Twitter. So I'm also gonna at some point during the stream, I'm gonna link to his Twitter in the description below as well.
I thought I was gonna catch COVID from him. All that hacking and wheezing. I can see phlegm coming at me through the camera here. So this is just. I'm practicing safe zooming here, and not the Jeffrey Toobin way, but safe zooming here. So, because that's Are you okay, brother? Are you okay? Because you're like really collapsing. All right, Kurt wants his game.
Let's wants his game.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Question number 1: is okay to have the air conditioning on and the windows open in the car? That is the question of the moment.
Is it okay to have the air conditioning on and the windows open in the car?
No.
It depends.
It depends on maybe whether someone has had ice cream that shouldn't have had ice cream 20 minutes ago.
Or if Legal Bites takes your shoes off.
Rude.
That's very rude. That's not in the Christmas spirit, Andy. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
You're
the elf. Just being honest.
That's a brother answer right there. That is totally a brother answer.
And this is why I invite him, because it's entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Depending on you want some fresh air. It depends how open your windows, I guess, or at least in part. You want some fresh air, and maybe you're not getting enough fresh air in. Depends how close the outside temperature is to the level of the air conditioning. But I'm going to say yes, it's circumstantially appropriate.
Yeah. This reminds me.
No. You're throwing money out the window. What do you think? Money grows on trees? It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to turn on the air conditioner here, have the windows open. Why don't you, that's like saying I'm gonna just use like extra tissues when I'm in the bathroom. No. We don't. You're just flushing money away. That's like a person saying, "Oh, I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to light cigarette after cigarette and hang it out the window." But I'm not going to. I'm just going to literally burn money. I'm going to buy a pack of cigarettes and then light it and hold it in my hand and then just let it burn down. And that way, I'm enjoying like the cigarette but not smoking. No, you're burning money. Sorry.
While you're at it, why don't you tell us how it's illegal to have on the overhead light while you're driving at night?
Oh, that's okay. Actually, sometimes I think that's totally overstated. You think you can't see outside; it affects your vision if you have the overhead light. Sometimes you need to. How am I supposed to text?
Yeah. What if there's a question in the chat for what if you have heated seats on with the window open, Joe? How do you feel about that?
Okay, so that's different. That's different because the heated seats might be countering for the cold person. Meaning, there's always the person who's cold, right? That one person who's cold, so now they want to have the heated seats.
Okay. You could also have somebody that has lower back pain, but still wants to not be overheated.
Right.
That's also true. Here's another super chat because I want to make sure that I go through these. Pepperoni. Okay, I don't know what this is asking. This is
the pepperoni nipples is from the guy in the Texas shooting that just happened.
I didn't know that guy's orange shirt guy is called ED guy.
Who was IED guy? I'm not quite sure.
IED is the inexplosive, the guy who's explosive anger, right? Intimate explosive explosion. Yes, yeah, that's orange shirt guy's IED guy because his wife or girlfriend, whatever, identified him as having IED, which is intermittent explosion disorder, which sounds like much worse than it sounds like a bowel movement issue, but it
sounds like some bullshit in the DSM to me. It sounds like someone who has just anger issues and now is coming with a cover on the DSM to me. Instead of I'm an asshole, but let me look up a reason why I'm an asshole. It's not my fault in DSM-5. That's what it sounds like to me.
I'm not as familiar with this one, but what do you guys think?
You need to be. You need to watch the video. You need to become familiar with the situation.
Okay, send me a link.
It's pretty fucked up.
I don't know if I have a link because it was on.
It's all over a mattress for some reason.
Yeah, basically, a couple of people in Abilene, Texas. There was a fight over throwing out a mattress into a garbage dumpster, which ended up with one guy dead.
It happened 3 years ago, something like that.
But I think it's coming to it might have been, I don't know, but it's coming. I think 2018. Yeah, that sounds right. It's coming to trial now, apparently, or imminently, and we're talking about whether or not we're going to cover it. But you have a father and son team who walk out there topless. The father looks like he's wearing literally nothing but a pair of shorts, and he's a large man. And like when walking out topless literally looks like it's a crime against humanity, and and he has these big red nipples, so everyone called him Pepperoni Nipples Guy.
Oh my!
And and he and his son are basically waving a gun around at this guy or holding a gun, and the orange shirt guy is yelling at them like, "How dare you pull the mattress out?" And and they're cursing at each other, and it keeps escalating. And he's like, an orange shirt guy, IED guy, is like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna blow, and the other guy is calmly saying, I doubt it, I'd like to see you try. And at a certain point in time, apparently off camera, orange shirt guy picks up a baseball bat. We're unsure at this point, you can't see from the camera angle whether he's swinging it or not, but he's been screaming that he's gonna kill them, and they basically blow him away. And now they're arguing self-defense, and so they're the newest hot legal story for us to cover as to like, is this legitimate self-defense or is it not?
Probably not. So, I mean, it's mutual provocation. They're both in the wrong.
Yeah.
They're both taunting each other, both escalating, both taunting each other. The guy says, I'm going to kill you. The other guy says, I'd like to see you try, take a swing at me, all the rest of it. It's mutual provocation. They're both guilty. Everyone goes to jail. That's what I think.
All right. Well,
of course, the one guy's dead, so not so much with the jail for him, but
Yeah.
Okay, but it's just the do we side with him or not after the fact?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll have to.
Hold on, Kurt. If the guy can still go, if the guy can still vote, can he still go to jail?
Only in Illinois.
Oh man. Nicole Buchanan says one thing that no one seems to mention in the Kyle Rittenhouse case is the amount of control that man had with his shots. He only fired 4 shots. We did talk about that with the coverage that we did for the Kyle Rittenhouse.
Joe Scarborough said 60 shots, I believe. How dare Nicole? How dare you for not listening to the corporate press on this one? Get your facts straight.
Oh, no. Of course we're kidding. But no, I mean, I completely agree. And I know we've talked about this quite a bit, actually, that he had insane control. The fact that basically every shot that he fired went exactly where it was intended to go and no further, no shorter, is pretty insane. Like he was a really good shot.
He had a ton of discipline with that weapon. And under those circumstances,
is he Marine approved?
Or Army Ranger tab approved?
I mean, he's got better training than your typical, Joe in the Army. So he's got my thumb of approval for sure. It just amazes me that it just reminds me of all the stuff I've learned from rules of engagement for dealing with mobs and crowds and stuff like that. It's like you give that initial, it's like shout, shove, shoot. It's I can't remember what the full
shout,
commands are.
Shove, shoot. That's
and then the great question. The great question they asked him. So when did they teach you retreat? Yeah, that's a good question, Andy. When do they teach you retreat as part of the method?
When the embassy's on fire.
Yeah,
like that. But it's typically never even but in all reality, that's not really an option unless you do like a what do they call it? There are specific commands that you give. For example, when your patrol base is overrun, and I'm trying to remember what the verbiage is. But the whole idea is you have a contingency patrol bases set up or plans or a specific grade coordinate. It's like a blue and gold plan, I think is what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on where you see like action, if you're being overrun from this position, you're going to go, gold or black. It's black and gold. Either black, you're going to go over here, gold, or you're going to go over there. You have all these contingency plans develop if they get way too close. So.
Oh man. Brad
that was
Hobbs.
a long, boring answer.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. We're gonna just move on from it.
Thanks. Why don't you bring it other here? Jeez.
Actually, let me answer the question.
Sorry. I'm really sorry about that.
Brad Hobbs says you can eat cereal dry. Try eating Lipton onion soup dry. Go ahead. That sounds awful.
I freebase it.
I'll do it. Good.
Sounds terrible. Jonathan Tolbert says neighbor built a fence partly in my yard. HOA did nothing. Do I go after both of them? Also, you have to have permission to build a fence, no approval. So we can't give any legal advice, unfortunately, partly because we don't know what state you're in and we may or may not be licensed there. But what I would do in that kind of a situation is first look to whatever HOA rules are at play. That's the first thing that I would do to figure out what to do next.
So let me just say, I'm the only one who's not a lawyer on here. So I will give a ton of legal advice.
No, don't you dare.
Jonathan will be like, so this elf on this live stream said...
Of course. I'm sorry we can't give more on that, but I would look to the HOA rules first. And actually talk to a local attorney that does, probably property law, I would imagine. So yeah, that's my best recommendation. Sorry, John. Abe Eckstein, Joe, you sure are Jewish after this rant. I would have never. Oh, Joe, are you sure you're Jewish after this rant? I would have never have known. For some reason, you sound like my grandfather.
Trust me, I was recollecting childhood days when I was saying you're throwing money out the window.
That reminds. Yeah, the rant reminded me of Anita, Arrested Development. Who's the guy who is always in on the lessons?
J. Walter Weatherman.
J. Walter Weatherman losing his arm.
And that's why you always leave a note.
I don't remember. I was actually a big Arrested Development fan. I don't remember that character.
So remember how George Sr. he always taught the kids lessons, and it was always something. It was always something like very small, like leave a note when you
like
finish
some
the
horrifying thing at the end.
Yes, it always ends with this guy losing his prosthetic arm, and they're just horrified, like because there's like blood, and it's like always it's so traumatizing.
You learn your lesson.
Michael's like, that guy. Oh, he's like, Jay Walter Williams. Oh yeah, he died when you guys left the door open with the AC on.
Yeah, and then Lindsay's like, oh, I thought that was just to try to get us off of dairy. That's great. Abe Eckstein also said, I was asking who you would want to be your neighbor, pepperoni nipples or IED dude. Who would you guys want?
I think we covered that, didn't we? Oh, so we didn't answer that part of it.
Yeah.
We just were talking about the story.
Oh, who do you want to be your neighbor?
I guess I'll go with IED dude.
Yeah. Seems pretty harmless.
I mean, because that way you don't have to walk around seeing pepperoni nipples every day.
Yeah, that's
definitely the key.
That's a regular concern. You have to realize that's probably they probably only own like 2 shirts, period. So that's probably a regular scene going on in that environment. Is just like them like moseying on out there. Yeah,
I think that's what it sounds like.
And there's 2 of them. His father's son also. The son is like he's the spitting image of the dad in every respect. It was really kind of funny to watch.
Oh my. 200 Watt Studio says, Merry Christmas, y'all. Legal Bites, does Rick's Cafe still exist on Catalina? I don't know. We walked around quite a bit yesterday. I didn't see one, but I will keep an eye out for it, and I will. If I see it, how about this? I'll post it on Twitter. Works Cafe. Cool. CSAN says, just built a fence into my neighbor's yard. Haha, what a loser. I'm going to throw corn in front of my front lawn now. Oh, no. Merry Christmas. Is this the fucking Christmas Catalina wine mixer? Yes, it is. Merry Christmas and cheers. Anyhow, that was very dramatic. And I think that's, okay. Now we're caught up. Let's play the game.
That is
yes.
cue to start singing. Well, volare, from this movie.
That's for you, Andy.
We could play Andy's game too. Can we play your game virtually?
What's that from? What's that from, Andy?
It's from Step Brothers. That's what the Catalina wine mixer is from too. You can tell that the Bites family is very big into Will Ferrell movies. Back from his heyday.
Who's Will Ferrell?
Your audio went crap, Andy. By the way.
Who's Will Ferrell?
Andy, you know you're just being a dingus.
No,
you're being a cotton-headed. Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Did you just say cotton-headed
ninny muggins? Yeah.
Muggins?
Yeah, you're being a cotton-headed ninny muggins.
Wow. Which one of you is older?
He is.
He is? Oh yeah.
By
How many Bites kids are there?
A lot.
Oh yeah.
We're a big Catholic family that believes in divorce but not contraception, is what I say. I am the youngest.
You're the baby of the family.
Yeah.
So the patriarch, we'll just say he just didn't know how to stop.
Oh, but I'm glad he did it.
How many are there?
There are 7 siblings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's not, by Ortho Jewish standards, that's not like crazy high. That's not crazy high.
That's
in fact,
that's
I have 6 kids of my own, and my daughter has 7 boys. So
yeah.
It's a lot of kids. All right. So we've got some more super chats that just came in, but Kurt, let's play your game. Let's do it.
All right, so we have more questions in the pile, so let's pick a card and let's see what we got. Okay, this is fun. Topic card. Being too hot is better than being too cold.
No,
False.
I disagree.
False.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree because if you're too cold, you can kind of always put on layers, but there's a limit to the hotness thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your pepperoni nipples.
Everyone knows this. This is obvious.
I would probably agree with better to be too cold because then you can. I'm trying to think.
One.
Yeah.
This is a good one. They'll get a fight. PECAN is pronounced pecan, not pecan.
No, pecan. Pecan. Like the pecan sandies. It's always sunny. Frank Reynolds.
I've always pronounced it pecan.
Pecan.
Wow. It's totally pecan, and anyone who says pecan is a douchebag.
Yeah,
probably.
So now we've got 3 different ways because pecan, or pecan.
Pecan sandies.
Like a pecan pie. I mean, but I know that there are.
Does no one get that joke? No one understands the reference?
I missed that.
No,
one.
Andy, sorry.
You have these vague references. I don't even know what the hell this guy's talking about the whole time. He's got his whole elf thing. He's singing Italian.
If we get like a fuller panel, if we get a fuller panel, we'll actually play the game proper. We'll get roles and everything. I can moderate the game. It'll be fun.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next one?
Let's see what else we got in the pile. Okay. Nobody can make a bicycle helmet sexy. Nobody can make a bicycle helmet sexy.
When I typically think about bicycle helmets, I almost always think about like Mormons on South Park. Like that's what almost always comes to mind.
I don't know. I feel like I could envision a way that like the Magic Mike franchise could use a bicycle helmet as a prop.
I'm telling you, if there's a hot woman that passes by and she's wearing a bicycle helmet, you're going to think she's sexy. So
that's also true. Because you're not going to be distracted by the helmet by any means.
Oh, yeah. She's not a looker anymore.
Yeah.
The helmet's what put me off.
Yeah.
Hey babe, is it okay if I come to bed with just the helmet on? Yes, it is.
If I Mrs. the Game Maker sometime when all this is cleared out and see how it goes.
Nice. Okay. What's another one, Kurt? Let's do it. This is fun. I like these.
Oh, well, this is the one I have a strong opinion on for sure. Watching a movie at home is better than watching it at the theater. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to say yes every day, 10 times on Sundays. Yes, watching a movie at home. For every possible reason, I get my own choice of food, my own choice of snacks, my own choice of beer. I can make my own popcorn. I can change my mind. I can get up.
But this is
pause it. Hey, I'm not done ranting yet. I can pause the movie anytime I want. I can use the bathroom anytime I want. I can. There's no one else distracting me. I'm not in a theater with sticky stuff on from the seat before, in a seat that 3,000 other farts have farted in. I mean, every possible reason. I've got the high def TV. I've got a better experience in every conceivable way. Fight me.
You will never get the same experience at home that you would, say, for example, let's say you go watch Dunkirk in IMAX.
Any Christopher Nolan movie.
It's not going to be the same
at home.
It's not going to be the same at home by any means. And there's
I will just say that like half of the reasons that Kurt listed can be remedied just by the fact that I can bring a purse with me and can bring snacks and drinks and stuff like that. There are a lot of ways to hide food and drinks and to just bring them in, and then to have the just to have a little picnic. I've done that before where I brought like a blanket with me. It's great. It's wonderful.
When I pull a Pee Wee Herman, no one else has to see me.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. I just got that.
Wow.
It took me a minute.
Wow. That was a reference from like the early 90s.
It was
a reference to Pee Wee Herman, not Paul Rubens. Who okay. Interesting. Yeah. But all this is irrelevant. You know why? Because we're all gonna watch movies in metaverse. And you're not gonna
movies. I have to tell you that movies in a theater. I'll explain to you how this actually works. And I should have cautioned this before each of you answered. If you're the type of person who likes engaging in the social world, like with real people and stuff like that, that's part of the experience for you.
Yes,
you will prefer going to movie theaters.
Yeah.
If you're a couch potato and you don't really enjoy dealing with people and public and things like that, that's not your thing.
I have to watch 3,000 previews, and then I think the movie is starting, but yet more previews, and then I think the movie is starting, and yet
the previews are part of the movie. That's part of the movie. That's like
you're saying this is an upside.
Yes, I like previews.
I like previews
I do too.
Also,
I like knowing what's around the corner.
Yeah, speaking. I mean, Mr. Bites and I, we started watching Matrix Resurrections last night. And if we were in the theaters, we would have watched the whole thing, but we did not because Mr. Bites fell asleep.
If you got your 50-inch or bigger 4K, which these days are relatively inexpensive, and even with a half decent sound setup, I think you're home.
We hooked it up with the HDMI to the hotel room TV through my laptop, and it was like the screen was fine. It was it's fine, but it was just like,
I mean, I'll go to a movie with you, to enjoy the event with you.
Yeah.
So, but I'd rather be at your house and watching it, so I can just go up and get a beer or / whiskey or / whatever else I want. Everybody like, hey, legal, can you go get me a beer?
And I'll be like, get it your damn self. I'm kidding. I'm a better host than that.
I know you are.
I'm a much better host than that. But it's it's nice that we have the ability to see films, in situations where I think there is a movie theater on Catalina Island, but I don't know that it's even really open, but no way.
No, this is a bunch of bullshit. I know who came up with this idea. Middle school was a complete wasteland. It was an empty 3 years of my life where I felt like I didn't really learn anything. I did learn. I was in a magnet school, so I did learn how to write a research paper in middle school. But still,
No,
everything
is awkward.
I got the tar beaten out of me in middle school, and I became like really popular in high school. So
yeah, no, I think the panel's 4-0 on that question.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no. I learned how to work out in high school. Like I was this awkward kid that just wore sweatshirts in junior high, and then I joined the cross country team. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Andy can attest to that.
Super awkward.
Yeah, very awkward and weird.
Awkward was like, get away from me.
Like it was rude to awkwardness to call me awkward. No, middle school is just, it sucks because everyone's bodies are changing in weird ways, and like no one understands like what's happening with anything. And it's such a confusing time.
But in all reality, middle school and high school both suck. So
of course. Yeah. These are two terrible options.
Yeah. So
calling either fun is kind of weak. It's like less sucky versus more sucky.
Yeah.
Well,
college was fun.
And also like in in high school, then you also can start to drive. So that's great, especially in Southern California. That gives you freedom. So that's good. You can do things like go to the movies to watch a movie, Kurt.
Yep.
Watch around my dorm room on my 50K these days, I'll tell you what.
So anyhow, so let's do another super chat, and then we'll do more questions and stuff.
No.
I think you should make people pay. I think
okay.
I was opening it. I was giving you this wonderful grifting opportunity.
Yeah.
You're giving it for free.
Let's do it.
Yes.
$5 for the next question. $5.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Getting back to the IRA case, Brian's first lawyer leaked the video that would ultimately be used to convict him murder for life. How is that okay? Brian's first lawyer. Oh, so you're asking that the lawyer, his first attorney.
Do we know that's true though? I don't. I mean, so okay. So here's something. Regardless of whether that was going to get out to the media, that had to be sent over to the prosecutors, right? Because in any lawsuit, whether it's civil or criminal, if you have evidence that is good or bad for your client, you have to give that to the other side. That is a rule of discovery. You cannot hold that back. There was no
lawsuit going on. There was no criminal action going on at that point. The only reason they started a criminal action is because of that video. So the question is, how the heck did they get that video? Like, why would they get that video? That really was malpractice in theory by his attorney, like gross malpractice. Like, why would you look, unless there was a subpoena that was issued by the DA's office for any video.
That's fair.
But so if there's a subpoena, so in that case, he's complying with the law. But if there's no subpoena, and it'd be hard for me to understand how they could subpoena. How could they subpoena privileged attorney-client communications? That's clearly an attorney-client communication.
No, it's not. If it's a video of the incident itself, that's not a communication.
I agree.
Really? Hold on a second.
That's evidence.
Hold on a second. Whoa. That's not self-incriminatory?
The video itself, no. It's not, because it's
really
evidence.
The video is how he ends up getting incriminated.
No. But if
he goes to jail
there's
because of that video.
Let me distinguish for you, Joe. If there's an audio of a conversation between him and his attorney where he's describing what happened, or he's describing describing the video and talking about how he's worried about it, that would be privilege, because that is the whole point of attorney-client privilege, is to encourage people to be very open and honest with their attorneys so that their attorneys can properly represent them. But as far as like evidence is concerned, like things that are incriminating, whether it's video, a gun that has fingerprints on it, et cetera, like they have to turn that over. That's evidence. That's not a communication between the two parties or between the two individuals.
Okay. But so hold on a second. So if he imagine and look, I'm not a criminal defense attorney. I just can't imagine this is the case. Imagine he wrote a letter confessing to the crime and he gives that to his attorney. Is that now something that can be subpoenaed and taken from his attorney to the police? Because that's essentially what
the attorney. No, because
it's a letter he wrote in his diary, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I just want to share this with you."
That's an admission. If it's not
he gave
written
it to his
the attorney, if it's not written, it's not written to his attorney for the express purpose of representation, then no, then it's not a communication for.
Are you sure about that? Really?
I think so.
How is that different from
because
how is that different from self incrimination?
How is that different from somebody posting about their crime on social media?
Well, the difference here is on social media, you're making it public to the world. Here, I'm sharing something with my attorney.
But let's say it's a message to a friend of theirs, and then they say, "Well,
there's no attorney-client privilege there. You're basically that's an admission you're making to someone else.
So,
that's not attorney-client privilege.
But in this case, you're talking about a situation where an individual has written it in a diary, which the diary has a specific purpose. That if the diary is not something that they regularly write to show their attorney, then that's something that is not something that is going to be automatically defaulted as a communication to the attorney. Like it's a diary. It's the same thing as writing a blog post or writing a letter to anyone else other than an attorney.
This doesn't sound right to me. I'm not saying you're wrong. It just does to me, because look, I remember hearing Nick argue about whether or not your own fingerprint should be able to be used to unlock your phone, because that's being forced to self-incriminate. I don't understand how a confession that someone writes out.
Well, Nick was wrong about the fingerprints too, because it's an old doctrine on locks of keys versus
I agree with
numbers.
I agree with you that he's wrong, but if he's going to that extent, I cannot understand how it is that if I write something. If imagine this, a killer writes a confession, puts it in his safe, and now there's a subpoena. Can he be obligated to open up his safe and share that confession with the police? I don't think he could. And similarly, if he shares it with his attorney, that should be like putting it in his safe. It's not the same thing as sharing with a friend. He's expecting attorney-client privilege. So similarly, I think this video is the same thing as a diary, and that's why I don't understand how it is that that's something that you certainly would need a court order in order to get something like that, and I'm not sure how a court order like that would not be violating.
Well, it certainly doesn't apply to other kinds of physical evidence, because if you're an attorney and your client gives you the knife, as it were, you can't keep that confidential, even though he gave it to you in the attorney-client confidential sense.
Okay, all right, no, that's a fair point. So you're saying that if you give him the murder weapon, you have to turn that over to the police.
Yeah, you can't keep hold of that. That's a no-go.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Okay. See, this is why I'm not a criminal defense attorney, because little nuances like this, which are really important.
Yep. Same with me.
200 Watt Studio says, I built a fence in my yard on the Mexican border. Interesting. Merry Christmas. Abe Eckstein, don't want to kill the Christmas spirit, but I DM'd you and Joe the Abilene shooting. Oh, thank you. I will check that out as soon as I get a moment to do so.
Not very Christmassy, I have to say.
Crash Mondo says, just throwing some Christmas wishes to my favorite legal analysts and Elf on YouTube. Merry Christmas, friends, and a belated Happy Hanukkah to you, Joe. Yes. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, if you want to go that far.
But no, what about Festivus? Festivus for the rest of us?
For the rest of us.
I'm actually planning on having a Festivus stream tomorrow night.
Okay.
So, are you really?
That sounds great.
Well, look, I'm not Christian. I'm Jewish, but I think that people, after they're done with their Christmas celebrations,
that's true. That's true.
They'll enjoy a nice Festivus celebration. So,
but isn't Festivus the 26th though? So why would you have it tomorrow?
It's the 26th. Is it December 26th?
It's
Festivus Eve. It's Festivus Eve tomorrow night.
There you go. Boom, lawyered. Kurt Angry Bandling says Kurt is spitting facts right now about the movie theaters. Tenet was crap, though. I do agree. I was so disappointed. I think that.
And I've heard things about the new Matrix movie.
Yeah,
it's apparently not.
I'm already. Good. I'm not. I will reserve judgment until I have actually finished it. It's so sad.
Have you seen the new Matrix movie?
Me?
Has anyone seen the new Matrix movie?
I was saying earlier that we started watching it last night in our hotel, but we had to.
Yeah.
Does it make Trinity the one? Is that the thing that's going on?
No. Well, she hasn't seen.
So far, no.
But
so far, no.
So
but she has some kind of significance, of course.
Fun fact? I actually saw an early screening of the Matrix Resurrections. I saw it like 4 months ago, with an old coworker, and based upon what Anita told me about what she saw, because I haven't seen the final cut yet, but it sounds like there's some things that I saw that were didn't make it into what's been released. I have to go watch it for sure. Maybe I should have a follow-on stream with Alita about this or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
sure. But basically, that was a fun little experience. I'm and some of the things that I don't want to give much away. I'll hold my comments for later.
Okay.
Because I'm surprised. I'm surprised with some of the things I saw that Warner Brothers would agree to make this movie. I'll just put it that way.
Okay. Yeah. So far, it does feel a little bit like
it's more conservative than you would have expected.
So there's obviously the huge use of the term red pill, right?
Right.
And that
so I had heard that from someone else. I heard from someone else that's much more conservative. I also heard that the creators of the Matrix were very upset that red pill and blue pill were basically co-opted by politically, and that they're Democrats.
The Wachowski brothers turned sisters.
Yeah. Well, supposedly what? So here's.
I wonder if Warner Brothers also turned sisters. Is that how that works? Should we start calling them Warner sisters? Maybe they were trans the whole time, and we've been denying their gender for all these years. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Warner sisters over here produced some shit movie. How about that?
No. What's interesting about that whole red pill thing? So I learned something recently. Supposedly, I'm not sure how true this is, because they say that the film is essentially the franchise is essentially an essay for trans stuff, right? Because there's a couple different things. First of all, the red pill was actually inspired by estrogen pills, because those are red, supposedly.
Huh.
Well, I mean, the estrogen pills are red, but like the fact that that's where they took it from, I'm not sure how accurate that is necessarily. But there's also when at the very beginning of the film where it says system failure and does the zoom into the letters in the screen, it goes between an M and an F. It zooms right between the M and the F in the film. And then it says like trans system operator, and it does like the operator basically is the next thing it shows on the screen. I'm not sure how accurate that is. I need to do my own research on this to say it for certain, but it's just weird because I have a part of what I see into like the whole Matrix franchise, and it kind of plays with the newer film too, is the fact that I'm not sure. Are you guys familiar at all with? And I know I've talked to you about this, Alita, but Edward Bernays, by chance? You know what Edward Bernays is?
Yeah, and every time you tell me, I want to remember, but I always just remember the History of the World Part 1 quote where he's like, "Don't get saucy with me, Bernays." Always inevitably that just pops into my head, and it kind of co-ops all other information about this individual.
Yeah, but basically, so Edward Bernays was responsible for. He was hired by Woodrow Wilson during World War I to help create propaganda to get people to motivate to go into World War I. Noam Chomsky's famous for saying that he basically took a passive population and made them bloodthirsty for World War I. And Bernays, because of what he did over beyond that point, what he effectively proved is that you could manipulate a population through the corporate press, yellow journalism, however you want to phrase it, and get them motivated towards doing something. And meanwhile, Woodrow Wilson, on the other hand, would arrest people for speaking out against World War I. So that's always fun. But anyways, there's a lot of stuff that Bernays did over the course of his career that is, it seems tinfoil hat, but it's not, because it's actually all been proven to be true. But there's a really strong correlation between like what Bernays has done and like what red pilling is, being aware of like what narratives are being pushed against us, even with the whole what happened in Kenosha with all the people on the streets, people who are so agitated to get out there and create a lot of problems. And it kind of plays into that, even with social media. Some of that I think comes out in the new Matrix film is where I'm going with this. So that's just my take.
It's preaching to me.
What's that?
So it's just preaching to me is what I'm hearing.
You know what? In all honesty, well, I wouldn't say it's preaching to you. I mean, but then again, if you want to be like, to be honest, like everything is propaganda. All art is propaganda, whether it means to or not. If I'm quoting, loosely quoting Ethan Sinclair. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me just. I haven't finished it, but so far, my thoughts on the movie are that it feels very self-aware, but not in a good way. Almost like, hey, yeah, we know that there's this cult around these movies from before. and we're making more of it.
Oh, but that was just the movie being meta and making jokes about what.
Yeah, but there's a way to be meta and to not hit you over the head with it. You know what I mean? Like there's you can tell the audience 4 or you can tell the audience 2 + 2, and it's always annoying to me when they tell the audience 4. It's a little bit of a, you know, as Mr. Bites would say in the military, it's a self-licking ice cream cone is how it feels.
That's true, but I would give exception to that only because
that's what your dad would say, a self-licking ice cream cone.
No, my husband, Mr. Bites.
Oh, okay, that's better.
Yeah. It's a self-licking ice cream cone.
Right now? Is he going to join us?
He's planning Christmas Eve activities.
Your
he's running around making reservations for stuff. He's great. He's wonderful.
It's just so weird hearing Joe's saying self-licking ice cream cone and then go referencing dad to Mr. Bites. That to me is weird.
After you've been mistaken how many times as Mr. Bites, Andy?
Oh yeah.
I mean, strictly speaking, right? I mean,
Natalie Wisco, yeah. Say,
well, she's not the first one. There have been many times that people are like, "Oh, that's your husband." I'm like, "No, it's not, but that's cool." Anyhow, here's a question from Abe Eckstein. First question for the game is Chicago deep dish: pizza, tomato soup, or casserole?
Pizza.
Is Chicago deep dish a pizza, a tomato soup, or is it a casserole? It kind of feels more like a casserole because you eat it with a fork and knife.
Not the way I do it. I pick that sucker right up. Slice
Yeah,
it out,
but
pick it right up,
but it's awkward if you try to pick it up like that.
Coming from the awkward girl, sure thing.
Joe, what do you think? The resident New Yorker, what do you think? Would you call Chicago deep dish a pizza?
Yeah.
Of course not.
I've never thought of it as I've never thought of it as anything other than a pizza. I didn't even understand the question when I first saw it. Tomato soup or casserole? Casserole, it means things are mixed together to me. That's like sort of like, I don't know. I never would have thought of anything other than pizza.
I guess
Although
that's
I've only had deep dish pizza once. So yeah, it's not very popular in Jewish pizza stores. So kosher pizza stores.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Andy, what do you think? Do you think it's a pizza, tomato soup, or a casserole?
You know, I'm an elf. It's not a candy cane, so I don't really give a shit. So
doesn't fall into the candy cane food group.
Pizza. I'll go with pizza.
Okay. Kurt, what do you say?
Pizza.
Okay. All right. Well, I
like the deep dish, and I also like that the boardwalk style is kind of maybe my favorite.
By the way, that $20 super chat up there, this is how we're sharing brilliant legal insight. I don't know if you see it up there from the Japanese.
We will get to it.
All right.
We will get to it. Do you ever notice how many Nick Rekieta followers are literally everywhere by the word super chats and comments they create? Hey, you know what? We share a lot of the same followers, so I'm very grateful to
I want all of Nick's followers. I want them to stop following him and follow me.
Yeah.
Trying to get over 50,000 subscribers over here.
You know what?
Let's do it. 50,000.
Let's do it. I thought you were over 50.
I'm 47, I think. I'm at 47 exactly, or 49.9, but
let's get
Andy under 3,000 subs.
All three of us are in our 40s.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's unfair. Legal Bites just leaped right ahead. I feel that's she was struggling over here, like, oh, I only have 2,000 subs, and then all of a sudden she's at 20,000.
That's true. I had like 2,000 when I first met you, Kurt. That was that's crazy in the last year. That's literally what happened. I don't think I quite cracked 2,000 before the new year.
I was on my stream very recently. I was rewatching my 1,000 subscriber special from May of 2019. So 2.5 years or something. I was like, yep, well, this is the journey it's been so far.
Hey,
a year ago today, I had under 400 subs.
There you go.
So that's a pretty good year for growth to go from like 300 and something to 40,000.
You both
cheated.
No, we gave the people what they want.
Yes, here we go.
That's my problem.
What is the worst Christmas song for me? Wonderful Christmas Time. Oh,
one's
pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
So I lived upstairs. I lived upstairs from like a Spanish guy, and he would not stop replaying over and over again Feliz Navidad. I wanted to just like blow my brains out. If I was like, just please stop, please stop. I want you to have a Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Andy, what about you?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. That's I don't know. I'm like the opposite of Kurt. I like all Christmas music. Just about.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I don't really complain about Christmas music. Not to say that Kurt's wrong for complaining about Christmas music, because I totally sympathize. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. I was actually trying to think about that right now. I guess I'm just a Christmas elf. I just love all things Christmas.
I don't really like Santa Baby because it just feels like.
Okay, maybe that one. Okay, maybe. Okay,
yeah,
stop.
It kind of makes me feel a little gross, to be honest.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's just like the thing is like she's just asking for stuff, and she's not saying like, "Hey, I did some great things for it." She's just like, I'm singing in this wispy little voice that's kind of sort of sexy, according to me, and like, give me stuff. Give me all the things, all the most expensive
That
things.
girl is a 7 who thinks she's a 10. That's what's going on in that song.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't particularly
Tell her
like
who's
that
boss.
The Japanese Yakuza 1 says, if I start my diary with "to my lawyer."
Yes, that's what you need to do.
That could be.
Everyone's diary should just be called "To My Lawyer."
You know what?
I love it.
But I would say that a little bit like a way to frame that a little bit stronger is if you do every diary entry is "to my lawyer."
Yeah, okay.
Because then you frame a pattern to say that the intent for this is to talk to my lawyer about legal concerns that I have.
To my lawyer. I think Kevin is really cute. I wonder if he notices me. To my lawyer.
I wonder if maybe
to my lawyer. What are the rules around kidnapping exactly? And harassment and stalking. Could we define what stalking is very precisely?
I love it.
Oh man. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm not stalking you, Legal Bites. I'm surveilling you.
To my lawyer.
Yeah.
He freaking deserved it.
Look outside your window.
He had it coming.
Oh my God. Yes, exactly.
Very underrated song. That's actually a really good song from Chicago.
Which one?
He Had It Coming.
Oh, he had it
from
coming.
Chicago.
He had it coming. He
only
had himself to blame.
Look at this.
Look at
this.
There.
Look what I started.
You know that he might have done the same.
Dazzle. How can they see with sequins in their eyes?
So basically, not Joe. You have to sing a song now of some sort. We've all had
everyone has sung something.
I think we're having those audio problems from StreamYard again there.
Oh man!
Get away with murder.
Can you please make me?
And they'll never
a mod
catch
here so I can
one.
actually punish some people?
No, but the entire Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
Yes. We both reached for the gun.
Oh, I love that song.
I was thinking that song the entire time.
Understandable.
I love that song.
Perfectly understandable, comprehensible, not a bit reprehensible. It's so defensive.
It's so true. It's such a reflection of what we have even to this day. Yeah. And it lets you know, you think it's like a new thing, the media portraying a narrative. Everyone thinks, oh, this is like, why? And when did our media get so bad? That's set in the 20s, in the 1920s.
Yeah.
For the last 100 years, our media has stunk. And it was well known to stink back then also. It's been forever. Forever it's been terrible.
Yeah. What is everyone drinking?
Liberal tears.
Oh, I am.
Water.
I'm going back and forth between a peppermint mocha and prosecco.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
It's a small bottle of prosecco though. It's a little tiny.
I have two
bottle.
more. I have two more.
Can you just straight out just tip one up? Just go.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Here, I'll open the next one. How's that?
There you go.
Yeah.
You're not white girl wasted enough. Let's go. Chop,
I
chop.
know.
Yes.
Which I will be. I'll happily let you guys know that every time I see White Claw in stores, I'm like, I tell Mr. Bites, I'm like, we should get some White Claw because we can't get it where we are overseas, and he's like, we don't need to see that. We don't need to see you on White Claw.
The no law when you got the claw.
Yeah.
Alita.
I think we're codifying that in Texas law as we speak. Oh yeah.
Alita, I'm writing in your chat here. I need you to mod me up because you got some serious options.
Okay.
So I wrote mod me
say
Alita
something.
there.
You are modded. You are modded.
Oh, all right. Look at that.
Yeah,
Good. I'm gonna
I
go
modded
punish
you a
some
long time
people.
ago. Yeah, you guys are all modded.
Beautiful.
I'm on top of it.
Don't mod Andy though.
No, he's modded.
Oh.
Yeah.
Somehow
Gotcha,
I entrusted him with that power.
Mate.
But so what are you guys drinking?
I'm always on
the
coffee.
moment.
I'm always on coffee.
Yeah,
I
go open a bottle of white and just start chugging it right out of there. You know that Tom Mitchell song about white wine in the sun? The sort of he's a ginger-haired comic, and he has this great song because he's from Australia, I think, and so obviously it's warm for him in winter.
Yeah.
And so he's singing a song about how he wants to see his mom and sisters, and he always sings, I can't do the song, but it was like we'll get together with white wine in the sun, when we're all together, and it's like it's really, really thoughtful. It brings a tear to my eye. He's a very interesting singer. He's a comic singer, so he sings a lot of his comedies and song, and he has a couple of G's, an I and an N, an R and an E, just 6 little letters, all jumbled together can bring such offense, right? And so you're thinking it's one word, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like only a ginger can call another ginger.
Oh.
Only a ginger can call another ginger.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Moisen HCRNR, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Said, couldn't the Bryan video be withheld on Fifth Amendment grounds? And no, because it's not somebody confessing.
It's not testimony.
Yes.
Right. Testimony is when we want to call you to stand to say things. Your prior videos are not. They're just you making prior statements. They're prior statements. We're not compelling anything. You've already made them.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a dissent. There's dissent on the chat. Some people say I have a beautiful voice. I should sing, and other people like please never sing again.
I think the people saying that you should never sing again are just trolling us.
Yes, that must be what it is.
Yeah. Uber Asian says I'm only here for Joe. Happy holidays, fam.
Oh, thank you so much, Uber Asian.
Happy holidays, Uber Asian.
I just had someone brought my grandson in here a second ago. Where is he? Bring him back here. That's my boy. That's my
Legal
boy.
Bites is the only deep dish worth mentioning. I have to say, Legal Bites, when Nate first introduced me to you, one of my first questions is she single?
See? He's so terrified of me.
Oh, no.
All right.
No.
Okay.
Aww,
there you go.
Hi, baby.
I had to keep my little people at bay. Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't do that with them.
LawTube the musical, that could be good.
LawTube the musical, that would be fun. And yes, I know I still owe a lot of running. The problem was
traveling.
I wanted to do the 15K with Indy because that's the last one that she
15. So wait, you got to do 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. If they're like what, 45 now?
I know, I'm so behind.
Oh my God.
What a slacker.
I know.
Why don't you just put this on your phone broadcast and start running? Do it now.
Yeah. Well, actually,
with the Prosecco,
even better to New York.
Oh no, that sounds bad. That sounds really bad. But no, I do still owe a lot of running, and it's gonna happen. I'm gonna get all of it done, because I'm even if it's delayed, I'm gonna hold my promise for sure. Because that would be awful if I didn't.
Offer void in some states. Yeah.
No, not at all. Get Joe talking about agendas and divide mix-ups.
No.
I think maybe not. Okay. All right. Dragon Slayer says, and the rest of us from Viva in Barnes, Happy Hanukkah, and for those to celebrate, Merry Christmas. Yeah, that's true. It's actually it's been really great.
Here's a topical one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fake Christmas trees are better than real ones.
Nope, never.
No.
Not a single day of the year.
It depends on how you define better, though. Like one thing it's nice about a fake Christmas tree is the convenience of being able to bring it out and pack it back up again.
Here's one Legal Bites might be morally offended by. Let me know what your thoughts are on this one.
Okay, let's see. Brunch is dumb. No, I love brunch. It's expensive though. Brunch is like, if you can do like a homespun brunch, that is like the best. I've done that where I had people over for brunch and then it turned into a game day. Mm-hmm. And it was like, it basically turned into like keeping people at my place until like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. It was great. Like all day brunch, game day situation. It was fun. I love brunch.
Kurt disagrees so much that he's off.
I know. He just decided to leave.
What are appropriate hours for brunch?
I mean, I guess the earliest you could do it is really like 10 a.m.
You could do a 10 a.m. brunch?
Yeah.
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 And the latest is what, 11:30?
No, like 1, I think.
That's lunch. That's not brunch. That's lunch.
Yeah, I guess. Nah, no, but you could still.
I mean, you can eat breakfast all day.
I think once you hit noon, it's not brunch anymore.
I guess the real question is: are you opposed or in favor of breakfast all day?
I could do breakfast all day.
I used to do breakfast all day.
Yeah. So I guess it's not brunch, but breakfast all day.
I wanted to join in the honor of Tim Mitchin and the whole thing. And joining you guys, I thought I'd break out this one in my fridge. So I got this Murraywood Unoaked Shard.
Muirwood.
From Monterey. Muirwood, sorry.
Yeah,
Unoaked Shard from Monterey.
Spoken like a guy who prefers movies in his house.
No, Muirwood. That's probably named after John Muir, the naturalist, who did a lot of hiking and adventuring in California, and is the name of my college at UC San Diego, because they split it up into like 6 or 7 different colleges. Mm-hmm. I went to John Muir College, so that's how I know that.
Now, when you say that, was this colleges in the sense of different disciplines, or was it different than that? Kind
of. They have different graduation requirements, and so they have like different, different, I guess, areas of like emphasis. But like you could be any major to be in these different colleges. So literally, what I did when I was applying to UC San Diego, I looked at the graduation requirements for each of them. It was very conveniently like boxed next to one another. Yeah. And I just looked at, I didn't even read through everything. I looked at just the number of words for graduation requirements and went to the one that was the shortest and then went with that one.
Yeah. Why if they'll all accept any major, then why wouldn't you just accept whichever one is easiest? What's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, because some of them are like there's some that are more for like sciences, others that are, I don't know. There's like Earl Warren School. There's, I don't know. I it's been a while, but basically the John Muir College was known for like the free spirits, because it's like they had no graduation requirements, so it's a lot easier to.
Sounds good to me. Let's do that one.
To be a history major, sociology minor, such as myself, and to not have any extra graduation requirements.
I'll take the hit. I'll do my science degree and do it with the hippies. It's fine by me. I'm no sucker.
Yeah.
This is me peeking through your Legal Bites sign over here. Through
it. Somebody get a screenshot of that.
When you drink too much on a live stream.
Yes.
There you go. What are the odds a juror in the Potter trial didn't go on social media? And should they start taking lie detector tests in high-profile cases? Well, lie detector tests are also not always that.
Reliable.
They're not particularly reliable. There are ways that you can train around them. Apparently, I know there's a lot of discussion about that around the Kavanaugh hearings because of what's her name. She took a lie detector test before she addressed Congress. Blasey Ford.
Blasey Ford, man.
Christine Blasey Ford.
You gotta love it when when all of her witnesses can't remember anything. They can't even remember them ever being together.
Yeah,
it's like I don't even remember them ever associating, let alone this event ever happening.
If I had a crystal ball and I knew what Kavanaugh would become, I would have been at the front of the Me Too movement there. and screaming, "He raped her! He raped her! Get rid of him! Get rid of him!"
And then Michael Avenatti, before he was completely disgraced, came up with this story about him being part of a gang rape at a fraternity with the cops and everything, part of a line, a train, and everything. It's like, oh my God.
Oh my, yeah. You know what was funny is after all of that, because he was from Orange County, like he practiced in Orange County before I think he got disbarred. But I was also practicing in Orange County around that time. And I remember on LinkedIn, you know how it suggests you to like link up with people, and LinkedIn was trying to suggest to me to be linked up with Michael Avenatti, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, no chance in hell! Like, I've never met him. I don't want to meet him." Oh, we have somebody else with us. Who is? Hey, Merry Christmas, Nate.
It's my
good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you.
Wow.
Oh no, where'd he go? That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I promise.
I don't know. That's what they always say.
All right. He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back.
Yeah, on the counter.
Idaho
Even caught me
plumber.
in the shower.
Love you guys. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. Here we go.
All
Now
right.
he's back.
Oh, there he is.
I'm back. Yes.
Yeah.
What's going on?
How are you? I like that hat.
He looks like.
Thank you.
You look like a doctor from the Middle Ages.
Yeah, but like a steampunk doctor.
Yeah. Steampunk with a hoodie. It's an interesting way to go.
That's true. What have you guys been up to? I've been driving for like the past 2 hours. So
you've been traveling.
We've been
traveling. That's true.
We've been hanging out. We've been talking about the law. We've been going through super chats, and also Kurt brought a fun game. It's called I Dissent.
Yes.
Kurt's been trying to get us to play a game for like the past week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kurt, you found one we can play?
Huh?
Yeah.
You found a game we can play finally, huh?
Yeah.
No, I found a game we can play. It has rules and everything. If we get enough people together, we can actually play it.
Can we do it online though? We don't have to be like in the same room. Do I have to roll dice?
No, I don't think it's like
that. If I'm not rolling dice, I feel like I'm not doing anything.
No, there's no dice involved.
Oh man.
I would like to do dice game too.
Which actually, so and also for Andy's game for Crypto Cartel, Darth Crypto he has a copy of it, and he said that he's going to try to figure out a way to do it digitally for us to be able to.
Nice.
So we could also just play it with all the cards face up, but that would make things like super easy. But then it's just not quite the same as playing it, when you have your cards hidden in your hand.
Darth, I'm sorry. Matter of fact, how's your brother doing? I see him. He's not moving because I'm on mobile, so nobody's actually moving.
You're mobile.
Andy, what's going on?
Not much.
Andy, you gotta change the name of the game to "This is my God country." It'll sell out tomorrow, brother. It will sell out tomorrow.
Seriously, you need to save an audio of that people could just click whenever they want.
They're like, I'm having a bad day. How can I make my day just a little bit better? And just shouting it out into the ether.
But not just this is my country. It's like the little like. This is my country.
Hey, Jeremy.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Hey, Jeremy, if you want, I can send you a link so you can join us. But let me let me scroll down. I'm tracking the super chats, but I will I'll show it here. Yeah, thanks so much for the super chat, dude. That's awesome.
The quartering.
Yeah, from one lawyer to 5 others. Merry Christmas. Nice. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, man.
Don't forget quartering to remember to promote our channels. We could use the love.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not. I am not beyond asking the quartering to help me drift.
Yes.
I am not beyond asking. Please,
one at a time. It's like
I asked first. Jeremy, go on Twitter and promote the uncivil law. Tell people to subscribe today. Help me cross that 50,000 mark. Yeah, that would be a nice Christmas gift from you to me. I'd appreciate it. How about that? That'd be great.
Yeah.
It's really
the best thing that I used to always think that, but the best way to blow up the channel, if you really want to get that growth, is just doing great content, man.
That's true.
The best way to blow up the channel is do any video on the women's soccer
I'm not beyond
team.
a little promotion, though.
But
Oh yeah, that's true. Right now, any woman, any video, you know what? I was at the casino. And somebody saw that video. I don't know. Well, two things. Number one, the first time the first guy recognized me and called me Nick Riccietta. He was like, "Hey, aren't you Nick Riccietta?" I was like, "You mean Riccietta?" And he's like, "But they saw me on his channel because they were there. They were one of the Rittenhouse people." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh no, I know the guy. No, I know you. Aren't you one of the guys?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm one of the guys. I'm one of the guys."
Oh,
so
man.
you're down in AC right now?
I was in AC. We were at the Trop. Then we went to Caesars, and now we're headed back because it's the tomorrow Christmas. So
Right.
So
yeah.
Did you have great success? Was good fortune with you?
No, I'm still poor, thank God. But
I don't believe that.
But no, there was no success. But it was still fun. You know what the wild part was watching the Kim Potter stuff because it was funny because I had more. I had more. What is it? Entertainment during the whole Kim Potter thing, talking to you guys, than I really did gambling and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you lost the Nostradamus title after Kim Potter got convicted.
You know what? It's good. It's what, 1 out of 8? That's a pretty good.
No, it's like 1 out of 15 or 20 or something like that. Because I had my streak was 2 years long. I'm losing on this one. I'm happy with it.
Have you made a prediction on Maxwell? Because Maxwell's probably coming down like over the next 2 days. Oh, like by Tuesday.
See, that's the thing is that I really don't know the details of the case. So if I don't know the details of the case, it's really a guess. Like the case I usually call are ones that I look through. I'm like, all right, this is the way this was going to go.
All right. Well, if anyone out there needs details of the case, including Nate the lawyer, I have done a string of videos. I cover it inside the courtroom, day and night. I got videos. I got video log tracking in day by day. This is what we heard. This is what we saw. Here's what's breaking down. So, Nate, I strongly urge you and any viewers out there to check out Good Logic and see if you want to find out more about Ghislaine Maxwell and try and chime in for yourself as to whether or not she's going to be convicted. But,
hey, Joe, I'm going to say it.
Description below.
Joe, I'm going to say it, bro. I'm going to watch. But I'm not going to watch hours and hours of the content, right? You gotta break the down.
He's got some good
10, 15 minutes, brother.
That's what I did. I did 2 videos. I did 2 videos a day. So by lunch break, I did a 10 to 15 minute video breaking down what I saw the last 3 hours, and then afterwards I did, and I have it all in a playlist there. You can just go right on through what it is I was seeing there day by day.
Yeah,
and
I did that. That was very helpful for me because I would go to Joe's thing. I would say, okay, here's a 10 to 15 minute video wrapping up everything, and then if you want to dig deeper, you could also go into his live streams where he's really talking about everything. I found that to be very helpful. And I was like, you know what? I probably should start doing that for some of these longer trials where I'm really sitting in for a long time. So you're giving me ideas. Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
Forever Keeper. Forever Keeper says, happy holidays, folks. Question: do you guys drink eggnog and rum? Yes, I do.
Yes,
with pleasure.
I'm about to drink some when I get home.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Also, Mr. Bites makes a killer glühwein. It's really good. Sadly, we can't make it this year, but that's okay. No. Well, at least not on Christmas. We can make it for New Year's when we're back home. So, yeah. But how about you guys? Do you guys drink eggnog with rum?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I prefer rum neat.
It's got to have a healthy amount of rum though. I don't want that hiding behind the eggnog too much.
No. It's got to make you warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, it's got to make me want to put a lampshade on my head. Is what it's got to make.
I tried eggnog once, and it made me. I felt like I was like that was the texture of it just made me wonder how it is that anyone drinks this stuff. What is in eggnog?
You sound like my girlfriend in high school was a great Jewish girl. Oh my God, I love that girl. But she was the same way about alcohol. The way they used to serve alcohol, they used to heat it up or cooking alcohol. I was like, what the hell is this? So I gave her eggnog, and she hated the eggnog, and I hated the cooking alcohol. But we were able to, she drank her stuff, and I drank my stuff. So
there you go. America 76 says Nate with the hat was giving off some Baron Samedi vibes from Live and Let Die. Oh, you're right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Except Baron Samedi, but Baron Samedi didn't have hair though. He was bald.
That's true. That's true.
Little known fact: Live and Let Die had the best opening song out of any of the Bond movies. All the Bond music, Live and Let Die was I think easily the best.
Are we going to debate best Bond movie? Because I would like to enter my vote for You Only Live Twice.
No.
Best Bond movie. I don't know.
What about Octopussy? Octopussy was pretty good.
No.
You know, this is like 100% up Mr. Bite's alley, because he's the kind of guy that likes to watch all of the like YouTube videos talking about going through each and every one of these movies and rating them for like the villain, the Bond girl, the action, the number of people that die, and all that kind of stuff. So we've totally watched all of those videos. But I think for me, maybe it's just nostalgia, but I've got to say GoldenEye. That's my favorite one.
I'm in
That's
the same
my
boat.
favorite.
It's Martin
Wasn't
Campbell,
that Pierce Brosnan in that
Pierce
one?
Brosnan, yeah.
What's funny about that film is that, like, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, even though it came out like it's like mid '90s, is roughly when it hit theaters. It still had the original Cold War feel to all the legacy older Bond films, I guess you could say. And it crossed that threshold where it's like, no, the Cold War is over, but they still but people still like these aspects of like the Bond films. Yeah. And interestingly enough, Martin Campbell directed that one. He also directed Casino Royale. And that's a good Bond film. So.
Yeah. I actually even though Moonraker is like the total outlier, and I know it's super cheesy, for some reason,
benefits.
I like it. I like it. I like Jaws as a villain turned not villain.
He was better in Spy Who Loved Me. Spy Who Loved Me, I think, has Jaws, and I think in that movie he actually falls out of an airplane and lives. Like literally falls out of an airplane flying like 30,000 feet, and they have this whole fight in the air where they're fighting over the parachute, Bond and Jaws, and in the end, obviously Bond wins that fight, and he goes crashing through a building, and then just brushes himself off.
Yeah.
Classic Bond.
Someone
movie.
in the chat also said that GoldenEye was the best game for Nintendo 64, and
it was back in the day. It was a huge game. I remember being at debate tournaments.
Yes, and
we would break out an old CRTV on the dollies from some sort of room and break it out and put out the GoldenEye. It was badass. Yeah.
Even though I was never any good at it, because I was better at watching Mr. Bites. Not Mr. Bites. He was not in the picture yet. I was better at watching it. With Andy and other siblings playing it. But anytime we played multiplayer with where you're supposed to kill each other, I would just get really stressed out because they were all really good. But it was fun to watch.
Yeah. That game is definitely a landmark from a cultural perspective. You think about it only got better after that, or significantly better after that, I guess you could say. Prior to that, it was kind of it was all rather the same. Like Super Nintendo wasn't quite that great. Even some of the initial Mario, the N64 games that came out, they were okay, and that really separated. And I can't remember which came first, whether it was Mario Kart or
Mario Kart was badass. I was pretty good at Mario Kart back in the day.
Yeah. Mario Kart
Yeah.
on Switch is not bad though.
I think it was Mario Kart on Super Nintendo back when Nintendo Power was still a thing.
Yeah.
And they had their one of the issues in Nintendo Power had their best times for various things. And I spent a month trying to beat their time on Mushroom Castle or what it was. And finally did beat their time. I felt like a badass.
That's awesome. Here's a question. TZ1052 New York or NY says, do any of the lawyers believe the Minnesota statute for murder is vague? It mentions conscious. The prosecution admitted she did not have the intent to use her gun.
No, it's not vague.
It's not vague.
Clear. It's just jury nullification on saying that, on determining whether or not there was a conscious determination by Kim Potter. It's not vague. It's just the jury just completely ignored it.
Yeah.
Jury sucks. Although, to be fair, all credit. Natalie, the lawyer chick, did a great stream last night, and she thinks, and I don't want to overstate her case, but she thinks some of us, maybe all of us, have our heads a little bit up our ass. And she didn't put it that way, obviously. I say it with love. That we were a little bit blinded and not really seeing the state's case, and we were kind of convinced, and we didn't really see, for example, she said you say there is no evidence. Well, it's not that there is no evidence. You just didn't credit it. For example, the state's use of force expert, you found you thought they're shit because of best use of self-defense, use of force expert in the history of time. You didn't really believe this guy, but there was evidence. So she she did a stream, and I made a super chat to point out that, you know, I really appreciate being challenged, because maybe I was blinded. I still haven't really puzzled it through or molded it all the way through. So I don't really have an opinion yet at this time as to whether or not that's true or not, but I appreciate the challenge in any case. So you should check out Natalie, the lawyer chick. She does great commentary, and her video last night was illuminating, at least to me, on some of the blind spots that maybe me and other people on the panel might have.
Yeah. And I've been wanting to get her on this channel also. We've been trying to work it out, but it just hasn't worked out with our schedules. But maybe after Christmas we'll be able to put something together. But I would love to talk to her about that, because I personally was very on the fence about it. I was leaning towards not guilty because, you know, anytime you're on the fence, I think that the weight should go towards not guilty, because you have the presumption of innocence. But I do tend to agree that it wasn't the clearest cut case. This was no Kyle Rittenhouse. This was no Kyle Rittenhouse, which I think was much clearer. I mean, because you have there are so many different things that can come into the jury's brains about, like, not just about, like, you know, we're looking at this from a strictly legal perspective, right? We have lawyer training, and so we're going to look at it as, okay, this is recklessness, this is not recklessness. But to somebody that is not particularly familiar with those concepts in a legal context, it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to sort of put on that brain and feel okay about it. You know, we have a lot of experience feeling okay with those kinds of conclusions. Juries are also very emotional as well, and they have to feel like this is the correct decision, as well as the, you know, like the emotionally correct decision, as well as the logically correct decision. So, you know, I know that there were some people on when I was on Mercatus stream, some people that were kind of seemed a little upset about the fact that I was like, this isn't the clearest case. You know, like I can see why the jury came to the conclusion that they did. People were a little bit upset with me about that as well, but that's just the way that I see it. I'm gonna call it like I see it, guys.
And again, like Natalie herself was saying this morning, and Emily D. Baker was echoing it. Natalie was saying how she was, you can read her exact tweet, but saying how basically she was frustrated, or she's getting named called by people who are saying, because she's saying things that they don't want to hear, she's getting name called and degraded. And I said, you know, I've been in that many times. I mean, at the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, for example, I was saying nice things about the prosecutor in terms of being a good tactician or a good arguer, or, you know, making good cases, good arguments. And I was getting all kinds of pushback from the chat, from Nick's chat. So like, how dare you say that? I'm like, it's just an opinion. You know, it doesn't go to other issues. It's just, I think he's a good tactician, or I think he's making better arguments, or I think Richards is a little bit asleep at the switch. And those opinions have largely remained the same. Regardless of what's true about the actual underlying evidence, where I thought the case was also shit and it shouldn't be brought. It raised ethics concerns. But, you know, this was a huge issue early in my channel, where I got to know Nick, and Nick, not from Nick, from his chat, because the way we got introduced to each other was through this case called Vic Mignogna. Is this voiceover artist who's been accused of Me Too. His case is on appeal. It should have been decided months ago. It's still waiting. And I said, and I continue to maintain, I'm like, you know, I think he's going to lose. Nick disagrees with me. He thinks he's going to win. Our disagreement is professional. But, you know, I tell the chat, you know, I don't think this is going to go well for Vic, and, you know, I'm the devil.
But that also doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want it to go well for him at the same time. You know, like that I think is something that people might sometimes forget, is that when you think that facts are not on someone's side, you're not necessarily saying that you think facts shouldn't be on their side, or that, you know what I mean? Like that this person deserves what they're going to get, most likely based on what you see. Like, this is just a very professional opinion, and it's not even necessarily like a personal judgment that you're making.
A lot of people miss that.
Response to the super chat, like, for example, does Potter have any chance? I could just note, just from the start, without blinking an eye, the rate of overturns on criminal convictions on appeal is under 2%. I could just note that. I mean, just as a baseline, it's under 2%. So that's your baseline going in, and then you adjust that from there. So if I say, well, geez, she has a 98% chance of losing, just as a baseline and I tell you that, it's probably not what you want to hear. So it's like, and I don't see anything incredibly obvious. Best arguments are legal mistake during the instructions, but I don't personally see it. Those instructions are fought over, long fought over, and they're established by prior cases and model instructions. So I assume there was no failure in the instructions. The second best argument that I see is the prosecutor conflated negligence with recklessness in the closing argument. What the prosecutor kept doing is saying, we have to prove recklessness. There is recklessness. And then went on to basically lay out what a negligence case would look like. So saying, I have to make negligence, or apologies, I have to make recklessness. Let me tell you what recklessness is, and then proceeds to lay out what negligence looks like. So conflating the two. The problem there, of course, is the jury instructions themselves, and the judge instructs you. I am the sole giver of law, right? I'm the one who gives you the law. They can give you argument, but I'm the only one who gives you law. So even that might not be enough. So I don't see anything obvious. And also the other thing we have to remember, and this is something that sometimes blows people's minds, is on Court of Appeals, all the things change. So like when I put on various hats, like in this entire thing, I've been saying, no, I think Clem Potter's not guilty. I don't think it's there, right? But suddenly I put on my Court of Appeals hat, right? Now suddenly I'm Judge Court of Appeals on civil law, and I'm like, okay, well the standard now is completely flipped. Guilt is assumed because the jury innocent until proven guilty is over now. Right. Guilt is assumed. All the assumptions go the other way, and now I have to interpret everything in favor of the verdict. Yes. And so I'm like, geez, I can simultaneously think, I really think the jury made a mistake, and there's nothing I as a Court of Appeal judge can do about it.
Right. Because you're asking and answering entirely different questions.
Yeah, entirely different questions. The question dictates the answer. So I can simultaneously believe I really think the jury made a mistake, and also believe I think there's sufficient evidence for them to get there, which there probably is.
Because the system that we have, for better or for worse, allows for the jury to make mistakes. But on the whole, generally speaking, we believe in the wisdom of juries. That's why we have it.
And weirdly, I agree with everything that Kurt just said. And
I know this is a strange and confusing time for you, but
I think he expressed it very well. One of the things you were mentioning before you started becoming Mike Hogg there for a minute was that
Kurt.
Yeah. No, you mentioned 20 minutes ago when you started talking, you mentioned something about expressing an unpopular opinion that's not saying what you're wanting, that what you want to happen, but what is reality about what likely would happen, or how things should play out under the law, even if you don't like this ramification. And I think that's actually something that, people don't realize. That's where, if you're a member of LawTube or any person out there expressing your legal opinion in front of a large group of people, is that we're put in a position of advocating that this is what should happen under the law, even if it's something that we hate. So like I had an argument, for example, a long time ago, I had a debate, which I actually had asked Robert Barnes to debate me about Rudy Giuliani and the persecution by the state of New York to try and suspend his license, which I hated the fact that they were trying to suspend his license. And he was looking at this as doom and gloom for conservatives. And this is cancel culture that's going to be affecting wide swaths of attorneys. And I was like, the first one in line to be affected by that would be me. I am admitted in the state of New York. I'm expressing conservative opinions. And I think that this is a one-off. And I wanted to walk people through why I think this is a one-off. Do I think it should have happened? No, absolutely not. When you express an opinion based on your reading of a legal decision and how that interprets and the ramifications of that, so you end up expressing an opinion and trying to look at its long-term ramifications. So I'm expressing an opinion, even though I think that this entire decision is crap and it's terrible and it's awful and shouldn't happen in the first place, but it's something that's so unpopular because people are like, how dare they do this to Giuliani? And I'm still thinking the same thing. How dare they do this to Giuliani? I just don't, and that's wrong. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that it's something that's dangerous. And that I got so much backlash from that. Like, how dare you argue with Robert Barnes and you're ignoring the concept of slippery slope, and all these people yelling at me as if I was an idiot and didn't consider slippery slope, as if I just walked onto politics 10 minutes ago and I'm not aware of the fact that this is a political witch hunt. Of course it is. I know all of that. I'm just saying the ramifications are not necessarily as egregious and as doomsday as everyone's making it out to be. And when you express an opinion like that, that's where you need to be brave as a member of LawTube and say, I don't give a damn if 98 out of 100 people in chat are hating me because they don't like what I'm saying. I'm still going to express my opinion to give truth about what I think about this issue, because otherwise you're not delivering a genuine product to your viewers.
Yeah. All that, and the other favorite thing I like is when I say something and then they say, so what you're saying is, and then they insert very extreme and mostly tangential version of something that vaguely represents what I said. Yeah. I'm like, no, I didn't say anything vaguely like that. Try to pay attention, people. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's
sorry I overtook your stream there for a couple of minutes.
No, that's okay. No, but those are important points, though. Those are very important points. And it's true that sometimes people can misinterpret what it is that we are actually saying when we're giving a particular professional opinion. Dominican Republic relocation tours is concerned about you, Joe.
What was that?
The Dominican Republic relocation tours is concerned about you.
I walked into Viva stream the other day. As soon as I got there, they're like, "Oh yeah, Joe's Mossad," and
I wouldn't mind it's like the DR.
Anyone who's Jewish
I've been to Haiti. I spent a month in Haiti in '96. That was interesting.
Working for the CIA?
No. I was on a missions trip. I was like 16 or 17 at the time.
Get him young. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
I got to wrap up, by the way, soon,
okay.
Alita.
Yeah, so. I probably should wrap this up soon. We'll probably I'll do the super chat. Let's do at least one more question though, Kurt.
Okay.
I like your game. JM says 90% of Uncivil's chat reaction is because of how Uncivil reacts to the chat's reaction. Stare into the chat stares back.
Yeah, this is a problem. I'm still learning this lesson constantly, and I've not learned it yet. But the problem is I want to teach all the people, and then I get shit from people, and I'm like, oh, it must be I'm a bad educator, so I kind of take it a little bit personally instead of realizing the thing that maybe I'm being trolled. So yeah. Or maybe I'm not being clear enough, or maybe I haven't expressed an idea perfectly well. So yeah, there's a lot of that. But
you need to try harder, Kurt.
Idiot.
You know what?
Try harder.
And this is when I am very thankful for growing up with bullies like Andy. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I just try to take everything as a joke.
Are you saying I'm a joke?
Dinosaurs are cooler than dragons. This is some bullshit.
I don't think so.
I've got the dragon painting on my wall.
Yeah.
You've guys seen the dragon painting on my wall?
Is it that dinosaurs are cooler because they can't fly or because they can't breathe fire? Is that which part of that is what makes dinosaurs cooler?
Maybe because they actually were real at some point.
Hold on.
Dragons can fly.
That's the only thing that I can think of. There are some dinosaurs that could fly. There were pterodactyls. They were cool.
I don't know. Drogon from Game of Thrones is pretty epic.
I think the fact that dragons can fly and breathe fire is pretty freaking cool. Oh, dude, that's awesome, Kurt. I like
Dinosaurs that fly are not real.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs that fly are not real.
They're not really dinosaurs. They're just big birds.
Well, birds are dinosaurs. They're descended from dinosaurs.
No, they're from lizards.
Haven't you ever seen Jurassic Park? Don't you know a velociraptor is just like an overgrown turkey?
No.
Birds are people don't realize how vicious birds can actually be.
All right. Yeah, so I've had that on my wall. It's an original. It's an original.
That's awesome.
And I love it. Yeah, it's a cool story too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's the story behind it?
Okay, so the story behind it is when I was in law school, I went to a gaming convention in Cincinnati. I went there for Dungeons and Dragons. There might have been other gaming there at the time as well, but there was also a silent auction there. And at the start, so it was like a Friday to Sunday, and one of the things was bid on this painting. The catch being at the start of the convention, the canvas was blank. So like bid on this painting, which was going to be completed during the thing. So by the end of the thing, it turned out to be that, and I bid on it and I lost. But that painting was in my mind for years afterwards. So, fast forward like 8 years later, when I have a job after law, job, and I'm kind of settled, the painting is still in my mind. I went through all my emails, found the name of the original convention I went there, contacted the organizers. I'd be like, hey, by the way, do you happen to know at this silent auction that happened like 8 years ago, who painted this thing? And they're like, let me check our records. Yes, it was this guy. I'm like, great. So I contacted him like, hey, you remember that thing you painted at this convention this year with this dragon thing? Do you know what happened to it? It's like, one of my friends have it. It's like, can I have it? He's like, no, I don't think you'll sell it, but I could paint it for you again. I'm like, great. So now it's one of two, now it's a commission piece. It's one of two, an original.
That's awesome.
And it hangs on my wall to this day. And that was
it's one of one. The other one's not exactly the same.
No, they're not exactly the same because he obviously has improved his technique over the years, so it's not exactly the same. So it's a one of one original painting, and I love it very, very much. It's one of my prized possessions in my life.
That's the best thing, is that like when you have something like that's when you know that you're right for buying it, when you can't get it out of your head for a long time. And so like you have to, like, you keep going back to it. Like then it's not just an impulse buy. It's not a waste of money. Like, it's something that you really, really want, Yeah. That's a great sign.
That's how I found my wife. No, I'm kidding.
I know how you found your wife.
Yeah.
You had a mutual friend.
It was. That's a true story.
That is a true story. I know it. I was there, kind of. But I will say that if it were between dragons and Appa from The Last Airbender, 100% Appa every day, all day, every day, every single day of the year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is Appa a dragon?
Joe's confused.
No, he's like a giant furry kind of like flying dog sort of thing.
It's kind of like
I will die on this hill.
He's like, that's like how he flies.
I will die on this hill for that dragon. Man.
Dinosaurs that fly are not dinosaurs.
Hang on. Let me see if let me just find.
Struggling, but Kurt, you've seen Neverending Story, right?
Oh yeah, I love the
like
book.
That.
In fact, I have the first edition book. It's one of my other prized possessions. I have a first edition copy.
Well, the movie.
It's a flying bison. Sorry.
The movie. Yeah, but like the what's the flying creature that they write?
The Falcor.
Falcor. Yeah.
Falcor, the luck dragon.
Yeah. That's kind of like what Appa is in a way.
Okay, let me see if I can get a good photo. Let's get a good photo of him. But like he's a six-legged bison, and he's
very
awesome.
Mellow, very.
Yes, he just like. Okay, let me share this.
That's pretty funny from Nunya.
What? Someone telling Sybil that you can't.
That super chat was pretty funny.
Okay. You guys see this? Look at that.
No.
He's awesome.
No,
That's how he flies. No. That's how he flies. And he's just this big furry floppy thing.
He has no place to excrete. This is just so anatomically inaccurate.
That's just because this is a an animated version of whatever.
Right, okay.
Just ignore that part.
When I come on a LawTube channel and they start talking about anime. And
yeah,
100%. I would go with Appa.
How did you answer the balls no balls question? How did you answer that?
I think I pled the fifth.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, yeah, no.
Really?
Yeah, I declined to answer.
Balls no balls. What was the question?
Fudas.
So
you know
what, Andy? How about this? We should get you on Nick Cicada's night stream, and then he can ask you the question, and you can answer for yourself.
You don't want it here, huh? You don't. It's like not here.
Not here.
Not in my
Christmas.
Here's my.
I was very proud that I came.
This is my first edition copy of Neverending Story.
Cool. There you go.
This is the first printing, and it's got some wonderful. Color in here just to show you it's got some wonderful
oh wow
yeah, and it's got red and green text because they float from the real world to the fantasy world. So I'll show you a page where so for example, they got red and green text to show you when they're flipping between the fantasy world and the real world.
Oh cool,
stuff like that. So yeah, this is another one of my prized possessions, first edition copy of the Neverending Story. So yes, I've seen the movie.
Do you when you read it, do you read it beneath a blanket with candles and a green apple?
You have to.
Something like that.
You have to. It's a requirement. So, all right. Well, I think we probably should wrap this up, even though we didn't end up talking about the Alec Baldwin search warrant. But
I don't know if you showed Kurt the last super chat there.
I bought this when I was in high school.
I did.
I bought this because I still have the original receipt here. I bought this.
He's busy in his own little world there. He's doing his own thing. He needs to learn. He needs to learn.
Kurt's like my son.
Look what he's doing. He's like going through. He's going through some.
It cost me $100. I bought this in 1993, so I was 12 years old. I still have the original receipt.
Nice.
And I bought it with my own money for $100, which was a lot of money when I was 12.
That was a lot of money, especially to a kid and in those days. Nanya Business says, someone tell Uncivil that you can't use cool story and start the story with Dungeons and Dragons.
I just did, jackass.
Balls or no balls on a Christmas tree? Well, of course on a Christmas tree. But like Christmas ornament balls. That's what I'm
balls
talking
are my
about.
balls.
Yeah.
Did you ever ornaments, right? You see that speaking of Christmas and balls, you ever saw that Saturday Night Live skit with
Sweaty Balls?
Alec
Baldwin? Yeah,
Alec Baldwin. That was probably Alec Baldwin's like the pinnacle of his career right there.
I would say 30 Rock personally, but that's just me.
Oh yeah. I'm still waiting for him to be
we were supposed to talk about Alec Baldwin on the stream.
I know.
And it's like we talk about sweaty balls. That's
basically... Sweaty balls is better to talk about than the search warrant on his phone, which they're definitely. I mean, I'm so curious about what they're going to find. I'm so curious. Whatever kind of text messages he sent to people, and I doubt that he was using Signal, with any disappearing text messages.
Signal is best. Yeah. I don't even use Signal, but it's best. WhatsApp is not bad.
Signal's great. It's great. It's the only way to have actual decent privacy by text. But yeah. So my guess is there's probably something there that'll be very interesting to investigators. I'm very curious about it, but we'll see. We'll see what turns up. What do you guys think?
I think the armor's in trouble.
I think that's definitely possible.
I think that search warrant is very encouraging that Alec Baldwin may be in trouble. And if you ask me, I think he deserves to go to prison. But whether that actually happens or whether a jury will ever convict Alec Baldwin, that's a different question.
I did like someone pointing out the potential hypocrisy of media, because MSNBC, for example, is saying Kim Potter made a mistake. That was Nate. That was you? I'm sorry.
That was Nate. Nate pointed that out.
Okay. Well, then, it's fine that I forgot him. That's all right. But yeah, either way. Yeah, there's some sort of irony between Kim Potter and Alec Baldwin there on whether mistake or not should send you to jail.
Yeah, right. Making a mistake with a gun. I mean, granted, she is a professional. She's supposed to have a lot of training. He also is a professional and was supposed to have a lot of training, come to think of it. So I put that statement out and immediately retract it.
There you go. So I was covering my face. I was doing the whole face palm thing. You were
doing the Kraus.
The Kraus?
Yeah.
The Kraus.
By the way, if you catch my my Ghislaine Maxwell coverage, there was actually a moment there when there was the defense put up a expert in memory forgetting, and she's like, basically, if you hear her talk, we all forget everything. Like, there's no way anyone could ever remember anything, and there's no witness that's ever trustworthy if they were testifying about anything that happened more than 11 minutes ago. But
it's probably more true than we'd like to think.
One of the best moments, she was crushed on cross-examination by Lara Pomerantz, and the best moment was, you have to realize, Ghislaine Maxwell's sitting there, and her brother and sister are sitting behind her. Kevin and Isabel are sitting behind her, and when she's being drilled, this expert is being drilled by Lara Pomerantz about how she's made a career out of defending sex people accused with abusing children in the worst way possible, and that every time she's witness for defense, and she wrote a book called Witness for the Defense, and she's building up on this. And at one point she goes, and didn't you also testify on behalf of Harvey Weinstein? And the defense is like, objection. And Kevin Maxwell and Isabel Maxwell both went like this. Like, that's what you don't want. You do not want your client there being accused of helping in the abuse of minors, being linked in the jury's mind with Harvey Weinstein. That is etched forever. Lara Pomerantz didn't care about the answer. She just wanted the jury to hear that. Weren't you also?
It doesn't, yeah.
But which is kind of sad, because what she has to say or not is equally valid, regardless of whether it's Weinstein or not, right?
Right.
I mean, she's either right or not. People remember things or not. People have problems with memory or not. People can't remember what happened 11 minutes ago or not. The fact that Harvey Weinstein technically is irrelevment.
I agree with you on that. But there's a human element to it.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm not even sure what I'm doing anymore. Just press on.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. I don't know.
I'm defending Harvey Weinstein, I think.
You are.
No.
Yeah, go
Oh,
for it. Go.
God.
Tell us all about how great Harvey Weinstein is. We want to know. We all want to
boy.
know.
Well,
Harvey
here's a question.
Well, that's about all the time we have for
This
today.
is like
No,
the
just kidding.
this is like the best thing I've heard since Kraus started saying,
No,
"Hey,
I'll ask a controversial
That's an
question
argument
on
that
Christmas
works
Eve. There is a bit of a libertarian you go girl vibe on the whole idea of the casting couch, because there is the idea, and you even see it on some left wing circles where you should have the ability to sell your body. It's your body, you go girl. You should have that ability. You go get it, right? That whole sentiment. So it's like, okay, is the casting couch okay or not? Or is it okay from the girl's perspective, but not from the guy's perspective? Is it changed based on your frame of reference? Like, is this a moral thing or not?
Does it change if it's a 14-year-old girl? Does it change then also?
Yeah. Does it change? Does it depend on how you tell the story? It doesn't depend on if you're telling the story like, yeah, I was young in Hollywood and I was trying to get it, and I made these decisions, and I've gone and look at my career now, and I'm crushing it. Be like, you go, girl. But if you tell it from the pervy, it all depends on framing, right? This is the, going to legal tactics and going to persuasive tactics depends on framing, right? With the right framing, one of the good examples of this is how the same word has the same denotation, the same literal meaning, but different connotations, different perceptions. So, for example, like these words mean the same things literally, but have different perceptions. Whistleblower, fink, traitor, all these, these ideas of what does it mean? You're doing the literal the same thing. Snitch. These mean the same thing literally. Whistleblower, snitch mean the same thing. It's like, okay, but one's good and one's bad, even though it's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's the importance of framing. So one of the things you learn in legal strategy, one of the things you learn in tactics, is like it all matters how you frame it, because the exact same thing can be good or bad depending on how you frame it.
That's actually what Dr. Elizabeth Loftus said. She said there's a big difference in the testimony you get if you ask to describe how two cars hit each other versus how two cars smashed into each other.
Exactly correct. Right.
And
that was the one word prime will change people's perception of the incident. With just one word, you can change people's perception. You can change their testimony.
And that's what the corporate press does whenever they present stories.
Yes. Yes.
And
that's how they control. That's how they control the masses. That is exactly how.
And it reminds me of something that Jimmy Dore shared on his. I'm not sure if you're all familiar with Jimmy Dore, but he had a segment about James O'Keefe. And there's this article that was written by the New York Times, and the way it had written was like the way New York Times was presenting the story was that, James O'Keefe, he consistently consulted his lawyers.
Yes, consulted his lawyers about what would be legal. And this is they got from the FBI raid that they got secret conversations between O'Keefe and his lawyers, and he's like, he's consulting his lawyers to figure out what's legal when he goes undercover. And it's like,
right, correct.
But
okay,
versus they're just trying to make sure he's not breaking the law. Is another way to look at that. Yeah, it's like, man. Okay.
So Jimmy Dore called them out on that. Called the New York Times out on that.
Jimmy Dore calls on New York Times quite a bit.
Okay.
But
because I actually called that out on my live stream. I have a whole rant against that.
It might still be on O'Keefe's on his Instagram, but I could send it to you later.
Please do.
The specific segment. Yeah.
Are you on? Do you follow me on Twitter?
You don't know I'm on Twitter, Joe? Oh my goodness.
No.
Yeah, his Twitter is linked in the description below for everybody that wants to follow.
Well, I'm gonna add
funny.
you up.
He makes fun of me all the time. So
I hope you'll make an online version of your game, because I would love to play your game.
Yeah,
sounds like fun. Or maybe you can, or maybe not an online version, but maybe there's a way for you to like do it with us online. I'd love to play it.
Yeah,
so that we can.
I
want to help you with you pitching your game and make sure you get the word out. I want to help you with the graph.
I can sponsor more. I can do one more. I can do more promos with other law tubers. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that, Mr. Kurt, Mr. Good Logic, Mr. Grifting Joe.
I'd bring you on. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I think the elk costume has been done, but I'm sure you can think of some other stuff.
I'd love to find some way that people can see your game.
Yes.
There might some sort of tease of your game so that they will be interested in buying it, right? Because just merely having you on and talking about your game is one thing, but if there's some way for them to see your game or see how it is, see how much fun it is, some sort of tabletop, and be like, see how much fun this is, see how much they're having.
We've been talking about
I will grift the shit out of you,
Kurt. Shush. So we've been talking about this. Darth Crypto and I, we've been talking about how. No, don't go away. What are you doing?
Where'd he go?
Come back.
Oh my, he's so.
No.
Come on, Kurt.
He's
Come on,
showing
Kurt. Don't be like that, brother.
So Darth Crypto, we've been talking about doing a lawyer like game crypto cartel playing / drinking live stream plus Darth Crypto. How to put that together. So we can totally do that. Like send copies to everybody. We can all have our own cards or something, or we've got to figure something out. But I think if Andy is he basically like moderates the gameplay on like one camera and has like the whole table of cards there, and then he's able to show us each our hand cards. Like I feel like we could totally do it. We could totally make it work, and it would be so much fun because there's a lot of twists and turns that come up in that game, and it's really fun.
I'm looking through the description here. I don't see any of us here. It's all Legal Bites merch, Legal Bites.
You're in the first
Legal
paragraph.
Bites in Europe. I'm looking here.
How am I not in the title? With at Uncivil Law.
Crypto Cartel G. Is that him? I'm trying to find Crypto Cartel G. That's him.
Yeah, IG. Yeah.
Yep.
Or Crypto Cartel G. Yeah, you're right.
Crypto Cartel G for the Twitter account.
The game, yeah. So yeah, you guys are right there in the first paragraph. First things first.
Yeah. You'll notice me based upon the harassing tweets of Legal Bites.
Yes. Yep.
I got you.
So Dragon says, what time are shots acceptable on Christmas Eve? I say maybe 15 minutes after you join your family. Or if you're having a COVID Christmas. Yeah, there you go.
I
nice.
love it.
Nice.
I should probably get going.
All of us should. Merry Christmas, you all. Thank you so much for having us.
So I will say this, on a Christmas when I can't be physically with my family, I'm very thankful that I was at least able to get together with the YouTube family, and of course Andy's my family. But being able to get together with the YouTube family, with a few of the LawTube folks, and with everybody in the chat. Thanks so much for all the super chats. Thanks so much for all the engagement.
I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm in addition to Festivus, which I plan on doing. I'm going to invite LawTube. I'll be like, any of you want to pop in? Feel free, pop in. Yeah. We'll have a pleasant little post Christmas. Hopefully, some of you all be drunk. It'll be great. Kurt, obviously, the drunker you are, the more welcome you are, and yeah, all of you. And you know what? I'll even throw one at Crypto Cartel G.
Yeah, there you go.
Shazam!
Yep.
Merry Christmas, you all.
Love it.
Yeah, there you go.
Virtual fist bump.
Sounds good. Okay, well, to everybody, have a very Merry Christmas. Stay warm, stay healthy, stay merry.
Smile, Kurt.
and I hope that everybody has a wonderful holiday, whether you celebrate Christmas or not. Good tidings to everyone.
Godspeed.
All right. Godspeed. Love you guys. Love everyone. Bye.